Water.
Earth.
Fire.
Air.
For the longest time, the four nations have lived together in harmony. Under the wise leadership of Avatar Roku, the world has experienced an era of peace and prosperity unlike any other. But with the recent death of Avatar Roku after his volcanic island erupted, members of all four nations feel the winds and tides of change. With the search for the new Avatar only just beginning, the world seems poised on the brink of conflict. But without the Avatar, who will save the world?
My name is Bree, also known as PrettiPixel, and I am playing Shurva, a warrior from the Fire Nation.
I'm Andrew, also go by Lucifer. I'm playing Firebender that goes by Mako Bao.
Hello, I'm Ali, and I'm playing Oki, a waterbender from the Northern Water Tribe.
I'm Brandon, and I'm Rung-Bolo, an earthbender from the Earth Nation.
Hey, I'm Dave, and my character is Al, the airbender from the Air Nomads.
And I'm Owen, the Dungeon Master of this ragtag group of members of all four nations. Hello!
Hello!
Hello, welcome. Welcome back to the Lost Archives. My name's Owen, I'm the Dungeon Master of our Avatar Legends campaign, Embers of War. We have been powering through. For at least the last 2 sessions, they have been on track with the main story, which one session, you're right, it's only one session, which is an absolute achievement for these legends. It's appropriate we're playing Avatar Legends because we've got a bunch of legends right here. There's other words I'd use to describe them, but it's probably a profanity filter on YouTube, so I can't use it. No, I'm kidding.
Are they joining later?
They're joining later. No, we're very excited to be back playing Avatar Legends. We're super stoked to be with you tonight. Obviously, thank you everyone who joined us last night for the Curse of Strahd campaign. It was a lot of fun. The party finally got to Valaki, which is one of my favorite locations in all of Curse of Strahd. So looking forward to seeing how that goes down. Yeah, should be lots and lots of fun. And obviously, we had our first session of Return of the Giants last Wednesday, our session 0. Thank you so much, everybody who joined us live. It was really lovely to have so many of you there live. And obviously, those of you who've been watching on YouTube and on the podcast, thank you so much. I was really hoping that Return of the Giants was the sort of thing that you guys would be wanting to watch. And overwhelmingly, the answer is yes. So thank you so much. It's I think the most successful video that we've posted in terms of like a 2, 3 day, 4 day period.
Hey, Rude.
Well, I mean, to be fair, the Avatar Legends when we started was like just in Kickstarter. So the first video took about a month before interest started to pick up. So we'll see. I suspect that Return of the Giants will probably match Avatar Legends in the long term. It was both a pretty... well, Avatar Legends was a very, very, very high profile Kickstarter. And Return of the Giants is our first non-published D&D module, which people seem to really enjoy. Which makes sense because Avatar Legends is all an original story that we've come up with together and that I've sort of written behind the scenes. It seems that people want the original stories. That's awesome. I'm more than happy to keep doing original stories. I thought that the published adventures was what people wanted to see, but I was wrong. You guys want new fun stories to listen to.
You mean you're making this all up? I thought it was all canon.
Oh, this is all canon.
It is all canon. It's all canon, but it's all canon like retrospectively, if that makes sense. So like I'm making it up.
In the other stories, like we want made up. We want good make believe.
Yeah, no. Avatar Legends. It's made up as it's happening, and then immediately as soon as it's like left my mouth, it's now canon. Like it's become canon. That's how it works,
Good.
right?
Good.
We have tried our very best to fit in with the existing lore and to tell a story that runs kind of parallel to the existing lore of Avatar. I think so far we've done a really, really good job of that, especially with the way we've kind of like woven around a lot of what's happening in this period of time between Avatar Roku and Avatar Aang sort of training and growing up a little bit in the Air Temple. So yeah, super excited to keep the story going. Excuse me, pup. Sorry, my dog's... Can you hear that? Can you hear the growl? I don't know how loud it is.
That.
Yeah.
I thought you farted, to be honest.
Yeah, she's a very tiny pup, but she's capable of producing quite a loud growl. She's grumpy because the next door neighbor's dog he's playing fetch right now, and she really wants to go play fetch right now.
Let her fetch.
Go play fetch. No, I mean, I could, but then it'd just be silence as you guys then just like give yourselves all the
Good old
levels
shit
and
talk.
no
We'll
fatigue.
give levels. Just remove fatigue. All right. Just install TeamViewer for a second. It's okay. Don't worry about it.
Just install TeamViewer. Yeah, sure. Now, for those of you who are joining us live on Twitch or watching on YouTube, you'll see Andrew's face is grayed out, but he is actually here with us today. Hello, Andrew.
Woo! Yay!
Andrew's his
that's like
own
color
hot
as he
man.
is in real life, right?
Yeah.
How's
yeah,
it in
yeah.
the void?
For those of you who joined us on Saturday for Grounded, you'll know that Andrew still has COVID. He's doing his best to recover as quickly as possible, but I think it's safest that we give him a bit of a chance to rest. So, Andrew, you're playing from bed tonight, correct?
Yes.
Great.
He's in lockdown.
Play from bed all the time anyway.
It's like
Yeah.
a foot. It's half a
We've
foot away.
locked him down. We don't even want to see his face.
That's-
Now we want to catch COVID.
Yeah, Dan Andrews heard he had COVID and took away his colour. Oh
Oh
man,
wow!
what a reference! Only Victorians would really give a shit about that.
Andrew's a cognito hazard now.
What was that? Sorry.
I said Andrew's a cognito hazard now. Then I realised I watch way too many like SCP videos to make a reference like
yeah.
that.
I've got-
You know,
got
you
no
know.
idea what you're talking about. SCP is like that special containment process or procedure, right? Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. Secure, contain, protect, and a cognito hazard is like a thing that you see and it affects you. Like if it's like a disease of the mind or something like that. If just by looking at it, that's what a cognito
Ah.
hazard is.
I
Okay.
get pretty sick every time I look
I've
at Andrew, so that works.
See?
It kind of sounds a little bit like Roku's Basilisk. Have you guys heard about that? The thought experiment of Roku's Basilisk. So this is
Oh god, now you said it.
It's
You
a
ruined
really
it for
quick.
us all
This is a
now. We're all-
really
we're
quick
all
aside.
done for.
I swear we're going to start Avatar Legends in a second. So Roku's Basilisk is this idea that in the future, an AI might be created that is fully self-aware, fully conscious, and it will punish everybody who was not involved with its creation. So anyone who didn't do what they could to help bring it into being,
Yeah.
they're now going to be tortured for all eternity. It's going to harvest their consciousness and torture them for all eternity. So technically what that means is you're being blackmailed from the future. Right? Because for you to want to create it to not be punished or not be tortured, you have to create it. But if you didn't create it, then you can't be punished and tortured. So it's like one of these really interesting kind of thought experiments that is entirely theoretical, gives you a good wrinkle brain, and gives you a sense of existential dread, which is my favorite type of thought experiment now as a
On a
nihilist.
separate note, I welcome our AI overlords.
Yeah,
On
we
a
want that on
separate
record.
note,
Yeah,
actually,
when the basilisk finally emerges, we want it on record that we're full supporters of the basilisk.
Mind you, I don't know if I want to be a part of like if it leads to that extreme towards the end where like AI overlord. I don't know if I want to be part of the world of say I have no mouth and I must scream. That's a terrifying existence to lead. If anyone's read that sort of book or heard about it.
Unless it's like Overlord, the game where like it's like a whole bunch of little minions and you sort of conquer these like terrible fantasy lands. Have you guys ever played Overlord? Great game.
No.
Loads of fun. Thoroughly recommend it. It's loads of fun. I don't know. This came up in conversation last night too. I'm just forcing it back in again tonight. I love Overlord. It's a great game. I recently got a copy of it for free. I've just been enjoying it again in my spare time. Alrighty.
I like the anime. Anyway,
Exactly.
I'm done.
Now, we better get into the recap. Let me do a quick recap of last session.
2007.
Yeah, it's been out
I
for
think
a
there's
while.
3 games. I think there's 3 Overlord games
Yeah,
as well.
I think that's right. It's loads of fun.
There's
Yeah.
a few.
I think the main story writer was Rhianna Pratchett, who is Terry Pratchett's daughter. Terry Pratchett's one of my favorite fantasy authors of all time. Yeah, Brandon's like super.
Well-
Yeah.
Oh,
Get
Pratchett.
on.
It's making money. Don't
Love
post it.
Terry Pratchett. Terry Pratchett is, to this day, probably the biggest influence on any of my fantasy works that I do for D&D, for anything. Probably probably the biggest influence on everything I do. Him and Brandon Sanderson, the two of them together, I think have shaped me as a fantasy dungeon master. So
Have you made an Ankh-Morpork in like any of your games so far?
So there's an unseen university in Oxenfurt as a reference, and I will occasionally drop other references as well wherever possible, just for fun.
Hell yeah.
Just to see who the Terry Pratchett fans are, because most of them will get it straight away. So we had a golem called Dorf, and anyone who's read, I think it's Guards was immediate. Oh no, not Guards. Must be Night Watchman. Was like, getting really excited at an incredibly innocuous reference. Just one person in chat was like, I get this, which is really fun. Alrighty, let me do our recap. Our story has been following Shurva and Mako of the Fire Nation, Rung of the Earth Kingdom, Oki of the Water Tribe, and Aal of the Air Nomads. Well, I should actually add to that, and now Aquila of the Northern Water Tribe.
Yeah, but he should probably also do his intro.
Yeah, you didn't do it last session.
He's really been slacking off.
We will do it this session. The children of important ambassadors of each of the 4 nations, they've been attending a historic summit at the Beifong Estate. With the recent death of Avatar Roku following the eruption of his volcanic island home, omens of war and conflict seem numerous. The team are currently on the trail of the 4 elemental spirits in an attempt to calm their rage and undo the damage done by a careless wish made of the whale spirit of the Siwong Desert. After locating and appeasing the Arctic fox spirit of the Northern Water Tribe, the group have travelled south, past the walls of Ba Sing Se and to the Eastern Air Temple. Learning that the Bison spirit has surrounded itself in a brutal storm, the group took a moment to train and prepare. Mako, Shurva, Rung, and Aquila, however, stumbled across a kidnapping plot. A librarian who had been archiving the recent births and deaths in the air temples, taken by a sect of air nomads called the Guiding Wind. Suspecting that this group were after the identity of the new avatar, the group are keen to search for the lost librarian after dealing with the spirit. Travelling by Sky Bison to the storm's border, the experienced airbenders have used their powerful bending to hold back the winds, allowing the group to push through into the eye of the storm. Searching for the spirit, the team instead found themselves fighting off sky sharks, predators riding the storm winds looking for easy prey. With the sharks barely defeated and driven off back into the storm, the group look up to see a vast sky bison surrounded with clouds and discharging lightning from its fur. These strips of almost like cloth waving in the wind around it, but not in time with the wind. The whole thing kind of seems to be moving with its own pace, the roaring winds around the outside of this turbulent storm, tearing away at your fabric and pulling at you, but this spirit hovering high above this enormous sky bison, seemingly unaffected. Its horns, the very small bison-like horns that you see on the other sky bison, stretched and grown into what look like almost enormous antlers. And as it turns its head down towards you, you see these enormous grey-blue eyes stare down at you. What would you guys like to do?
I'm going to nudge Shurva, and then, if I can reach him as well, try and nudge Aquila. Like, I think it's your time, guys.
I think we need to get closer.
How? We're not too far away, are we?
It's probably about 80 meters above you at this stage.
Maybe start playing?
Yeah, now I think.
Because like 80 meters is enough to like at least try and calm it before it dives into us and pushes us to tumbling to the ground.
It's a spirit. It probably has great ears.
Yeah, I think I'll start playing it, and then we should like slowly approach.
Are we like directly under it, or is there like because we're in the eye of the storm?
Yeah, directly
what's
underneath.
The diameter of this? What's this diameter of the eye? Is it like
massive? We're talking easily 100 meters wide. It is huge. This storm is so vast that the eye itself is just this massive open portal to the blue skies above. And as the spirit sort of hovers over the top of you, that small glimpse of sunlight from above is plunged into shadow, resulting in this sort of darkness falling across you, and as you look down onto the ocean below.
Okay, let's approach it then. Al doesn't go straight up. Al's kind of like going out a bit just so like we can get in front of it as well, so it's not like gonna drop from the bottom of it. So we're just trying to make it eye contact in a sort of way.
Yep, absolutely. So as you lead Mango around, trying to sort of climb, but at the same time not directly towards it, taking this outer pathway, sometimes letting the winds help push you and provide a bit of lift and thrust. As you begin sort of spinning up around, you notice lightning beginning to coalesce, striking the spirit high above from inside the storm. These lightning bolts blasting through and splitting the cloud wall that forms the eye around you and striking into the Sky Bison spirit, causing these tiny sparks of electricity to move across its body, starting to build towards its tail, which you can see is much longer and much larger than a typical Sky Bison. The tail stripes beginning to glow with a soft light blue color, very similar to the lightning that's striking the bison.
I don't think we want to get struck by electricity, guys.
It depends if Mako can shunted away or not. I don't know if he's there yet.
So I rolled with Harmony to start playing the singing bowl as we were climbing.
Perfect. I can't see. Does it come through?
Yeah, I didn't. I don't think I saw it on the stream.
I'll just give it a refresh. We'll see if it pops up. There we go. It's there now.
But it was an 8 success with consequences.
Yes. Alrighty. Brilliant. As you begin spinning around this Tibetan singing bowl, the tone begins to pick up and you can hear that reverberation through you. But the storm winds and the smashing of the crashing of lightning as it bursts through the clouds seems to mask and hide and almost push away the sound of the singing bowl.
Louder.
This is why we needed to get closer.
But we're heading closer. I think you're just doing this to get it started as well. So that once we're in range,
Yeah.
it'll start immediately rather than us getting in range and then you starting.
Yeah.
Do we need to do Mongolian throat singing or airbender throat singing?
Nah, yodeling.
Yodeling?
Yodeling.
Nah, no one likes yodeling. I'm pretty certain
Yeah.
no one likes
Well-
yodeling, especially air spirits.
See, nothing in chat. No one likes yodeling.
I can't argue with that logic.
Can I
how
see if
far
I
are we
can
from
do
the
some
alphabet?
low no, coming up. No.
Yeah, do it. I reckon he'd do it well.
All right. May I roll with creativity?
Yeah, you can roll with creativity for yodeling. Of course you can.
How far away from that are we
it'll
going?
be throat singing, not yodeling.
I'd say in the time that it's taken you to rise up, Dave, and for Shurva to start playing the singing bowl, you've probably risen about 25 meters.
Okay. It's 55 away.
Yeah. 6, that is a miss on the yodeling. Rung, as you go to yodel, you got to take this big breath in, and a gust of wind forces air down your throat, causing you to sort of splutter and cough as you go and drop down to the ground on the top of the saddle, sort of coughing a bit as you trying to get your breath back.
Look at Alec. Why do you like air so much?
Try eating rocks. Try eating dirt. It's worse.
Yeah.
As Mango begins rising higher and higher, the lightning bolts pushing out from the clouds and striking the bison spirit become even more frequent. Every second or so you can hear this as a lightning bolt strikes the Sky Bison spirit. It hasn't moved from its position, apart from its head, which is slowly following the position of you and Mango, as the electricity begins to crackle more and more around the tail, and you watch as the stripes along its body all begin to light up and glow with this electric blue light.
Can I ask a couple questions to assess the situation?
You absolutely can.
That is an 8.
You may ask a question.
Is a 9 full? No, 9 is still partial.
10
right?
is a full success.
Yeah. Because don't forget, team, we still have 2 plus 1s from the Here's the Plan roll.
You do have 2 plus 1s from Here's the Plan.
I
Okay, so I get to
remember.
ask one question. So it's watching us. Does it look like it's preparing to strike, or does it look like it's wanting this electricity through its body, or is it just something that's happening against its will?
It certainly doesn't seem worried about it. In fact, it's not even flinching or making any reaction at all as the lightning strikes against it. And as it's tracking you with its eyes, you do get a sense of wariness from this creature as it follows you. Or this spirit, I should say.
We don't have any hearts left, do we? No.
No.
We used all those.
Yep.
Yes, the bowl is all we have to soothe it. Does it look calmer from the bowl playing?
No,
somewhat?
you get the sense that you're probably too far away for it to hear.
Okay. Am I gonna have to keep rolling as we get closer?
No. I'm happy
the
for you to
harmony
maintain
going?
that as you just continue through. If anything happens, like the wind picks up or Mango starts to lose focus, then I'll
I was
get you to.
thinking of it as being like a saving roll kind of, but I like much better to just keep my 8.
It'd probably
My
more
next
be if
roll's probably gonna be
something,
bad.
probably be if something happens that might disrupt you. I'll ask for another roll. Something that might disrupt your focus and disrupt your ability to play. Anyone doing anything
My
else?
Zen.
I don't know if I should do spirit calming yet. I feel like we should probably get closer.
Get closer.
Yeah.
Like if it can't even hear the music, it's probably too far away for me to start calming him.
Well, is there anything you can do with like the air to like amplify it? Like, can you do like?
Can you like funnel the sound?
Can you be an
up
amplifier?
But what God just said? Where'd that come from? Exactly that.
I've been thinking about it, but there's not a lot I can do without with all this wind moving around us.
Are you not an airbender / windbender? Come on now.
But I can't fight a cyclone, guys.
Why not?
I can't. And shooting air at the bison wouldn't be helpful.
Yeah, that
What
might
I
anger
might
it. It
do
might think
is-
you're attacking.
What I might do is I'm just going to try and bring Mango towards it, but if it points its tail at us or anything, we'll have to switch to evasive maneuvers, I reckon.
I can keep that
It's
in
my
mind.
hardest.
If the tail points towards you, you'll try and sort of start ducking and weaving a bit more crazily.
Yeah.
With
yeah.
the sorry, with the strikes, is it just like a single strike coming from the tail, or like multiple?
So the lightning that's bursting through the clouds on either side of the bison. So the eye of the storm is this funnel, this massive cylinder of clouds, very dark storm clouds flashing with lightning. The lightning is shooting from those storm clouds into this empty space where the eye of the storm is and striking the bison. But it doesn't seem to be doing any damage. It seems to be almost slowly causing more and more electricity to crackle across its surface as the patterns on its tail, these stripy, flowy patterns, begin to light up, starting at the tail and moving forwards.
It's going to try to reach its final form.
Can't you do something, Mako?
Final form.
You do lightning stuff.
Yep. I'll get right on that.
Yeah, sweet.
Cool.
And Mako just absorbs all the lightning.
Yeah, I just absorb it now. I just sit down and just wait for everything to happen.
How does Mako do that?
No, I take a seat and wait for everyone else to
I
do
think
their job.
magic. I think magic is the way.
Use a lightning rod. I'm more concerned about the singing bowl, the big metal singing bowl.
Yeah.
And I'm just gonna say you should drop it if you do. Well, then it'll hit Mango. We're all done for.
No. Remember, it's an artifact.
Chuck it over to
It's a very
Mako.
important artifact. Wow.
If worse comes to worst, so you can do
Trust me
lightning.
with a very important artifact.
Oh yeah, good.
More
point.
about the lightning.
I'm more worried about the lightning. Alright, it doesn't sound like you guys are doing anything particular apart from sort of like looking out for the tail to be pointing towards you, at which point you'll take evasive maneuvers. As you get closer on the back of Mango, weaving and moving through the air, guiding Mango, you can feel Mango's trepidation and fear as you get closer and closer. She is getting more and more scared of this thing and more scared of the lightning that is blasting through the edges of the clouds, striking this spirit. As you climb a little bit higher, you watch as the horns begin to crackle with energy. These bolts of lightning zooming in between either side of these branching antlers on the Sky Bison Spirit. And then as you reach only about 20 meters away, this low hum echoes from inside its throat, reverberating through your lungs and the air around you until all you can feel is this.
What's our hair doing?
Whose hair?
What's our hair
It's
doing?
our hair.
Nothing yet. You're not close enough for the static. Trust me, if you're close enough for the energy to discharge, you'll know it. Don't worry.
Yeah, cool. No, I was just curious. I was just curious.
And as that hum begins to grow in intensity, louder and louder, the bison slowly opens its mouth.
Oh.
And then with this sudden flash, this discharge of lightning fires towards you on the back of Mako. I'm going to get you to make me a attempt to try and pull Mango out of the way. I'm going to say this is a pushing your luck roll.
Don't forget you got a +1.
Luck is passion, and I am not a passionate boy. Oof.
I don't know, you were
There's
pretty
a-
passionate about jumping off a cliff.
5. A 6 is still a miss, isn't it?
6 is still a miss.
We hit how you look at it.
As the lightning strikes, you expect pain. And there is pain. What you don't expect is the sudden loss of vision. This brightness, this whiteness that fills your every corner of your vision. This feeling of air rushing around you as you feel Mango falling from the sky.
Fuck.
But blinded by the lightning, blinded by the energy, you cannot see what is coming. You feel like you fall for minutes, seconds. It's hard to tell. Your ears ringing from the blast of the lightning, your vision still white. Colors just beginning to fade back in around the outside of what you can see before you smash into the surface of the water.
Far out.
Cold, salt water is what you were expecting. Instead, warm, almost slightly sulfurous smell to it assails your nose as you crash into this very, very lukewarm water. And as you rise to the surface, at first panicking, unaware of where you are and which way is up or down in the water, as you rise to the surface, coughing and spluttering, getting the air back into your lungs, your vision begins to fade back in. You see around you, Mango, on the surface of the water, a large burn across her body. Areas where the fur has been scorched by this blast of lightning.
Oh.
A very large scar.
You're a terrible person, Owen.
Me? You guys did
Mango!
this. It's nothing to do with me.
Because that's where Arlen
I'll
Mango are.
immediately swim to Mango.
Yeah, as you swim over and check on Mango, you can hear Mango whimpering ever so slightly, just this faint sound. As you look over the wound, it's nowhere near as bad as it should be. As you look, the surface is only partially burned. It's a it's almost like a glancing blow. But you know that this was a direct hit. You felt the shockwave, the energy from this lightning blast as it struck you. To be honest, you're not even really sure how any of you are still alive. That is until your vision fades in just enough that you can look up at the sky. There is no storm above you. The sky instead has this very faint, almost light green glow to it.
We're in the spirit world.
The clouds, streaks and lines, moving away from the center where you see a completely white sun hovering in place. The streaks of clouds forming almost like a lattice, stretching out to infinity from this central light. As you look around the water and look around the area, you see that in actual fact you're actually in what looks to be a rather large lake, steam rising from the surface of the water. You can see that you're in a massive hot spring. Small woodlands around, and flying high above, you see the long, sinewy bodies of what look to be eagles, but coloured bright purple, partially transparent. And it dawns on you. You're in the spirit wilds. What would you like to do?
Guys, if we run into Yavu, we should run.
Yeah, I don't think we want to deal with Yavu anymore. And the person who knows 1,000 things.
We're not in Kansas anymore.
Definitely not in Kansas. What's Kansas?
What's a Kansas?
Maybe you meant Embers.
Yeah.
Like a painted world in here.
Yeah, we're not on canvas anymore. Yeah, right. It's a very popular expression.
Concussion.
You
Oh,
say a percussion?
percussion? Is that what I said?
I think you said. Did you say percussion?
I heard concussion, but I mean,
Okay,
he
I
could have
heard
said,
percussion.
I have a percussion.
I have a percussion.
That's something someone with concussion would say.
Yeah.
I've got a percussion. It's fine.
Can we see the spirit bison anywhere?
No. As you look up and around, can't see the spirit bison anywhere.
Wait, did we die?
Hope not.
That just murked us.
Yeah,
I
like,
think-
like I say, hope not. Like, I can put my hands up towards like the sun to see if I can feel heat. Like, does the sun feel like there's like if you're out in the sun, there's a
No,
hot
there's
rays
no
or-
feeling of heat from the sun. None at all.
Those
Or
three
from the hot
buckles.
spring.
you
There
know
is
how,
feeling
like,
of heat from the hot
extra buckles?
springs.
Those buckles did not help us. Just saying.
You know, I
Are we
did
still
my
connected
charms and
to?
everything.
Are we still connected to Mango with the buckles?
No, they snapped the lightning transmitted down those and frayed and burned the ropes. As you look, you can see the frayed ends of the rope on each of you.
Do we still have the bowl?
As you look around, Shurva, you can't remember if you dropped it, when you dropped it, but it's no longer in your hands.
Shurva.
Shit.
Ooh,
Shit.
Sister Taka's gonna be pissed.
Can I swim down? See if I can like go like.
Yeah.
Sorry guys, I'll have a look for it.
Yeah, Rung.
If we
Do you
can
want
dive this,
Immediately.
Parker can bite one.
to make an
If only we
assess a
had a-
situation check? Only had a
I
water
I didn't know
bender.
Rung could
If only we had a waterbender who could just.
Yeah.
Send
Yes.
yes. down the water.
Is there a shore nearby?
As he swims down, can I like pull the water
It's a 7.
like away from him?
So I just fall down to the dirt.
As you use use your water bending to like pull the water apart a little bit, not a full Moses parting the Red Sea, because in your current position it's very hard to do that, and you don't know how deep this is. Rung doesn't fall to the bottom of the ocean. This is only actually quite a shallow pool of water. As you're looking a little bit closer, Aquila, you start to realize this looks like it could be almost the caldera of a volcano. It's not very deep where you are, but probably towards the center it looks like it gets a little bit deeper, and the warm water rising from underneath the occasional bubbles and the smell of sulfur makes you think this is somewhere volcanic. Rung, as you are dropped partly down into the water, a bit deeper than you normally go, you see a glint of metal on the very bottom. Are you raising your hand, Bree?
Yes.
Are you serious?
I didn't want to interrupt your little speech. But
Doesn't stop you guys the rest of the time.
pretty sure there's not bending in the spirit world.
That's a really good point.
How about you shut up?
Oh,
Sorry, I was just thinking about it.
When you're there physically, there is. When you're there as a spirit, you can't bend as a spirit.
Because we didn't
So I
meditate
have
to
now
get here. We just got
just-
thrown here.
I have now just revealed that you're not here
4.12.
spiritually.
I just wanted to bring that up because someone in the YouTube comments definitely would have.
100%. You can't bend to the spirit world. Actually,
Actually.
you can, because that's how Korra defeats Vatu in the end.
Yeah,
so you
I
can.
couldn't remember
No,
what it
I'm
was about
actually-
Korra doing it
Spoilers.
versus Aang.
Spoilers.
You just have to be there physically. Spoiler, if you haven't seen Legend of Korra yet, it's been out for like 5 years. Come on.
I have not
Yeah,
seen
what's
Legend
it-
I
of
have
War.
not seen it.
Well, then you've got to deal with spoilers. It's your own fault.
Yeah, that's on you. That's on you.
Yeah, that's on
I
you.
really should watch it considering.
It's good.
It is good. No, I really enjoyed it. It started, I felt like it started a bit jarringly.
Also, sorry, it's also been out for 11 years.
Shit,
Oh, fuck.
no, has it?
The first
That
episode
hurts.
was in 2012.
Oh,
At first you said that now.
Oh, that's not good.
I know that's not true.
The last
Um,
episode.
I don't think
Yeah.
Darren's watched
Angel wasn't
any
even
of the
born
last
yet.
Avatar, by the way.
As in any of the last Avatars in The Last Airbender or Legend of Korra?
Any.
Darren's never seen Avatar.
I think I made him watch like 2 episodes, then he got bored.
Darren?
Same with Liv.
The fuck?
Aaron.
I know.
Have you
That's why
seen
he just
Clockwork
wrote
Orange?
who's
You
Korra.
need to do a Clockwork Orange to him right now.
Did
And just,
Brandon use my
eyes
advantage from
open
last
with,
session?
drips.
Did Brandon use the advantage that you gifted him last session? I don't remember.
It had a condition to it
I
that
think
he had advantage for a stupid decision.
Oh,
I
yeah.
don't think he did anything
Like,
stupid
helping-
last
He
session.
hasn't made one
Yeah.
yet.
Oh,
That's
that's okay. I thought there was an advantage given. No, there was an advantage given for helping out Mako, I think. To
You may have, yeah.
not get hit with the lightning and actually help him. There was something like that. Anyway,
Definitely didn't use the.
who cares about these semantics?
The gifted one.
I thought she defeated
Thumbs
Vatu in a
up.
giant glowy battle in Republic City. She did, but she did also capture Vatu once again. She resealed Vatu using the Avatar state. I think just before that in the Spirit Wilds, like resealed him, and then what's his face? Unalok came and unsealed Vatu and just was like, "Yeah, get in me, bitch.
Yeah, read a book.
Read a book." That's what he said. That's his catchphrase. That's Unalok's catchphrase. Read a book. As he beats down people, he's like, "Yeah, read a book." That's right. But is that really defeating? No, you're right. It is. I guess it is defeating because like you defeat someone multiple times, but she destroyed Vaatu for like the second time, or like the final. It was the penultimate battle before that. The ultimate battle she defeated him was, you're right, a giant glowy spirit battle in Republic City, which I'll be honest, I don't know. I felt like there was some rules of the Avatar spirit and the way it works kind of like played around with a bit there that I didn't quite understand, but I was into it. It was quite fun watching two kaiju just deck it out over over a city. It was good. I felt like going Godzilla in the background.
Ultimate showdown.
It was great. It was the ultimate showdown of Ultimate Destiny. It was awesome. Yeah. As you begin looking around, you asked about the shore, Aquila, or Bree asked about the shore?
Me.
Andrew, the person whose face I can't see. Yeah,
You're lucky.
as you look, you're only about like 8-9 meters from the shore. You can see the lip. Rather than being like a sandy beach all the way around like a regular lake, it's this outcropping of rock that rises probably about 1 meter off the surface of the water. It's going to be a little bit tricky to climb out, but not impossible as you look around, kind of lending credence to the volcano theory. Actually, Mako, you and Shurva in particular, you would instantly recognize this looks like a volcanic hot spring, a really large one. You've been in these before. Your family would have taken you to the hot springs on occasion, Mako. Yeah, you would know instantly this is a volcanic hot spring.
Cool.
Did Shurva ever go to hot springs with her family?
Shurva would have gone with Marco's family to guard Mako.
Okay.
My family was his personal guard.
So
Technically, I went with my family.
So
Yeah.
yes.
But your family were like standing around the outside with spears and armor.
Yeah,
My
and
family's
I was a
Marco's
child
family?
fronting, hanging out with Mako because they wanted us to be best friends, so I would vow to protect him.
Yeah, they wanted you
Sorry,
emotionally invested.
Mm.
Yeah. How'd that go?
It worked.
Classic family.
It was like
And I'm
child
so
labor.
happy about it.
It worked.
Wait, is child labor okay in this in Avatar? It
Yes.
feels like it is.
Technically,
It
I didn't
happens.
Technically, I didn't take on the duties until I was 14.
So
Still a
it wasn't
child.
paid, so it's not late.
Still a child, but
14 and 7 months, right?
14
Yeah,
and 9
14.
months.
Is it 9?
I'm pretty sure it is, yeah.
That's the age to have a job in New South Wales. I think Victoria, it's a little bit different. You can start earlier as long as you're mature enough.
How do they judge that?
So
I don't know, but I had a job when I was dead on 14 because it was with a Victorian company. Not sure if that was legal.
Crack a baby.
Oh, God, excuse me, Looms.
Light a dart. You're good to work, kid.
yeah, that's pretty mature.
If you're smoking durries, you're good to smoke. Wait, what? Fuck.
I thought you were
My brain
going to say
don't
like
work so
smoking
good
these
since
meats.
then.
Yeah, sometimes I got diaries mixed up with, I don't know, like pipe cleaner and like with other stuff I found in Bunnings. And I just anything like. Just
Someone
smoked.
told me that cigarettes were made of a bunch of different chemicals and I tried to make my own.
I watched that ad about like the gross stuff that's in chemicals, so I just bought a whole bunch of tar and like rolled that.
Or,
Chipped away at the
no,
road.
you wait
Yeah.
till a really hot day and you skip it off the road.
Yeah, yeah. It turns out I was smoking bitumen. It's a bit awkward. Oh, amazing. Rung, you can see down at the bottom of this hot spring something glinting in the darkness. This metal, probably about another 2 meters down from where you are. But as you're at this point, you sort of take a moment and look up. The surface of the water. It's like 10-12 meters away. Shaking his head. You can talk. We can hear your mind. We can hear your thoughts.
I'm just like, I didn't expect to go this far down that quickly of the help.
You can thank Aquila for that.
My bad.
You're an
Gave me-
earthbender.
I'm just helping out.
I'm pretty good at being under earth, but under 12 meters of water, it's kind of like I swim around like kiddie pools all day to just like, oh, you're deep in the ocean now. Anyway, I try and steel myself and go towards the steel on the ground. Eat
As you
your dog.
swim down, you can see the singing bowl and the pestle lying there at the bottom of this caldera. And as you grab them and begin swimming back up, you quickly realize you don't think you're going to be able to make it.
Was the ground 12 meters away from me? Okay, 12 meters up, so I've gone like maybe...
The surface of the water is 12
Right
meters
back
up.
around there. Yeah, so about 2 meters up. Could I earthbend myself a pillar from the ground?
Yeah.
And jetted myself out of the water to say stuff swimming.
Absolutely, 100%. Could you please roll me with, I'd say, focus or passion?
I'll take both are good for me. I'll take a
Focus. That is a 4. That is a miss. Rung, as you make this pillar, it just comes up next to you, and you watch as this pillar also goes right in front of your face. And as you like start swimming frantically, those of you who are on the surface, particularly Aquila, you can see Rung is floundering. With both of his hands currently holding the metal bowl and the pestle. He's trying his best, but
I'll help him.
You can see dude's not going to make it.
Can I help him?
Yeah, you quickly use your water bedding to try and like pull the water up, doing this sort of movement, rising up the water that Rung is mixed in with.
I want to make like a water slide, but like anti-water slides, like shoot him up.
What, an escalator?
So you want to make like a geyser.
What a travelator.
Yeah, that's the word.
Yeah.
A geyser. Nature's
geyser.
travelator.
We went for escalator and travelator, and the sort of geyser.
Water spout would have gone, geyser, current. So many words that would have been more appropriate. But hey, look, who am I to judge?
Thank you.
That's what I'm here for. This is my purpose in the entire campaign, is to provide this context. As you begin pulling the water up, Rung, you're very quickly brought to the surface, and as you emerge to the top of the water, sort of coughing and spluttering for the second time, the water burning your lungs and eyes, you hand over the dish, the singing bowl, to Shurva.
This is yours. And then like I look to Killer. Thanks, Killer. The water's thick here. It's too strong for me. I can't think now. Shut up. I'm gonna take some time to.
I didn't think earthbenders could swim. I'm impressed.
I didn't know water changed thickness.
I should have paid more attention. I got distracted.
We're good at sinking. Really good at the sinking and going
We
down
saw
part.
that.
Coming up part. Thank you. Thank you. Going up, I'm still working on it. I need Aquila to show me how to kick my legs. So I try to just like get the bowl and just use the bowl to like push the water down. So I went through. Don't think it worked.
Well, as you guys kick your way over to the edge of the caldera and pull yourselves out of the hot spring, shake yourselves off and look around, the landscape is bizarre. You can see these stretches of forest around the rim of the caldera that then drop off very, very suddenly, as if a cliff was suddenly present. But the trees are still floating, as if the ground was still there. You can see the roots delving down into thin air, just floating. Occasional little pebbles and dust moving around, as if there is ground there. It's a very weird, strange experience looking out across this section of the forest. As you have a bit of a reflection on this and think, this probably lines up with where the ocean starts in the real world, in the material plane.
So if we go down, we get further away from. Is that how that works?
If you go out to
Up is down, down is up.
Yeah.
Maybe.
So if you go down, you don't go up.
You go down.
Go down. That is how it works.
Down, the prices are down.
The further down we go, the further away from the material plane we are.
No, I think we're just fucked.
Felt pretty bad down there. I'm not keen to go down.
I'm not gonna lie. I
There's
think we're just
water.
stuck here.
So we should try and stay as high up as we can then. If
Do you know what I think would get
Up
us
to the
out of this
moon?
predicament? Find.
Sacrificing someone.
Yeah, are you volunteering?
No.
Yeah.
Mako.
Well, we could just find a spirit and make a wish to, undo our mistake
On it.
or something.
And I,
There's so many spirits. Probably
On it.
find like a spirit each to wish for.
What could possibly go wrong, right?
What could go wrong?
No, we
How's,
fixed the mistakes with this wish.
How's Mango looking?
Mango, as she pulls herself onto the shore, you can see the burn from this lightning bolt has left this network of lightning scars across the side of her left flank. Again, doesn't look as bad as what you were expecting, but you can see that Mango is a bit hurt, and as she climbs onto the bank, she lies down, reaches back, and tries to kind of lick the area where she's been burned.
Hey, Aquila, how's your healing water bending?
Yeah.
Can you do the doobly doo?
I can make her dance like a puppet.
Oh, she's fine.
She's normal, guys.
I'm
I
much
wish
of a
Oki was
healer.
here.
I think males weren't ever really taught healing.
Whoa.
No, that's 100% right. For the Northern Water Tribe,
Yeah.
the male benders were taught combat, the female benders were taught healing. And that was the
Yeah.
breakdown of how it was in the Northern Water Tribe.
Oh,
Super
okay.
sexist.
There.
Just another reason why we shouldn't have swapped our waterbenders out.
Why Earth Nation's better?
Oh, well, you go get Ellie then.
Yeah, but Mango will get like a cool scarf on there, so it's gonna be awesome.
Come in right now, I need you.
She just comes
Yeah.
over your
Is that
microphone and is like,
cool?
yes, I heal her.
Yeah.
Heal
Whatever it
Not
is,
there.
I wave my hands.
Is anyone watching us? Any spirits? Anything in the general area?
That's a really good question. Al, would you like to,
To assess the situation.
make an assess the situation check for me, please?
I also want to assess the situation. Can I do that?
Absolutely, yes, of course you can. Anyone who wants to
Can I
can,
assess
and you can ask me
situation?
That
questions.
is an
Can I
11.
have a situation
Absolutely.
for food nearby? Like
Yeah,
potentially to help?
yeah.
I'll
Roll
assess
an
any of
assess the
this.
situation.
I'll assess.
You roll and assess the situation.
I got an 11.
Situation.
Al, you
Also
get to
got
ask
an
me
11.
2 questions. Shurva, you get to ask me 2 questions. Mako, you get to ask me no questions.
I shouldn't have rolled.
I've been
I shouldn't
Shurva's
have
like from
rolled.
the other day.
Al, what are your 2 questions?
Are there any spirits or beings nearby that are watching us or that we can see?
Yes, absolutely. As you pull yourselves up out of the water, dry yourselves off, and have a bit of a look around, you can see a number of spirits looking at you from the trees. Small, almost like the size, probably the size of a medium cat, but completely smooth tan skin. All of them wearing leaves on their heads as little hats. And as they look at you with these piercing black eyes, they pull themselves back behind the branches or into the trees, hiding, pretending that they're not there. But you can see them occasionally poking their heads out to have a bit of a look at you and then pulling back in. And as they move, you hear this rattling, as if of like a seeds inside of a seed pod.
We like to move it.
What was that, Andrew?
None that really makes sense.
We're in Madagascar.
What was that, Andrew?
What? No, nothing.
What did you say?
He was like King Julius.
I like to move it.
Come on, Mark.
Much more like chats on it. Much more like a Korok from Zelda. But rather than having the leaf as a mask, it's a hat that they wear around their heads. Here's my poop. Oh, thanks.
But none of
I
them
wonder
look
what-
like super
Oh, no.
sentient, or
None of them. What? Sorry.
none of them look like sentient, like they can communicate with words, or
You've got no idea. You
No,
don't know.
They're not looking ones. I mean, I guess.
Humanoid-looking ones. No humanoid-looking ones seem to have. You haven't seemed to have attracted the attention of any humanoid-looking spirits. As you look around, you can see many animal and plant spirits. A lot of very crazy-looking shapes moving through just out of vision. Some flying overhead, but no humanoid-looking spirits seem to have approached you yet.
Yeah, I guess Al just nurses Mango.
Did you want to ask another question?
Oh, it was okay. That counts as one question. Perfect.
I'd say because you asked are there any spirits watching, and then you clarified specifically humanoid spirits. I'd say that's kind of the same vein of question. You could have said, are there any spirits, humanoid or otherwise, looking at us? So
Okay. Is there any sign of anything that represents like the Sky Bison Spirit? Like any sort of like breaks or tears in the air that looks like you go to a different world, or any shadows of anything that looks like it's been cast from the storm that's happening in the real world, physical world. Sorry.
as you look up and try and look for the storm clouds, you can't see the storm clouds. Only these streaks of white clouds stretching away from the sun, as if forming a lattice pattern moving outwards. But as you sort of pause and listen, you think for a moment you can hear the rumbling of thunder coming from somewhere towards the north of where you are. So not back into the water, but away into the forest.
Al tells that to the crew. Hey guys, I think it's either Rung's stomach because he's hungry, or there's some thunder heading up from that direction, which I have a sense is north, but I have no way of knowing that's actually north.
It is my
Judging by the
son.
position of the
You're
sun,
100%
like,
correct.
you know it's afternoon and the sun would be in the west, so I'd say that you can figure it out. Although then again, that's a good point. You have no idea where the sun is in the spirit world, so that's a good point.
Isn't it like the big white ball? Is that the sun?
Yeah, wow, that's the closest thing to the sun in
Good
this
That's the
world.
spirit in the
You
sky.
don't feel heat from it, so it could just be a big white ball.
Exactly, yeah.
That's the spirit
Didn't
in
think
the
about
sky.
that.
That's where
Fake
I'm
stuff.
gonna go
So,
when I
north?
die.
Should we
Uh,
all go north?
Have,
That was a 3. That's a
Have
miss
anything
from
magnetic?
Rungs. Well, you don't get any questions
yeah,
because
no,
you got a
this-
3. So
I'm getting that. Yeah, I'll shut up.
I'm kidding. Aquila 5. That's a
I'm
miss.
just
You don't
gonna
get any
pick up some
questions.
rocks and put them in my
Shurva,
I think
bag,
that's
right?
Do you
five
have-
questions, right?
No, that's no questions. Shurva, do you have 2 questions?
I do.
No, no, no,
Right.
no, 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 thunder.
What should we be on the lookout for? What
In the
like
spirit
kind of
wilds?
threats would we potentially be looking for?
How much of your training do you think would have involved knowledge of the spirit wilds?
Look, I'm just using the basic questions that are in the assessor situation.
That's a good point. That's a good point.
They're example questions.
in this example, it's really tough because you would have no idea what you're looking at. I'd say that
we
you're
don't give
looking
a
out for
shit
the
spirits in the fire.
you're looking out for the standard threats. You're looking out for anything that has big claws, big teeth, or is just big. Anything that's large enough to pose a threat is probably something you're looking out for. So anything that looks like a predator, anything that's really large, anything carrying weapons.
Okay, but I said, what should I be on the lookout for?
But you don't know. Like you don't
Anything
know.
that wants to eat me.
I would say that you know that
That's me.
you have tangled with a spirit in the past, a dark spirit, who tried to get through into the material plane from the spirit wilds. You know that you are now in the spirit wilds. Probably dark tendrils. Tendrils of darkness is what you're looking out for, because you
Yeah,
probably get the
good.
sense that
Any
Yavu
aura of darkness around any of these spirits. would
probably
be a
don't want to
warning
mess
sign.
with Yavu. Yeah, while you're here.
He's pretty cool.
Debatable.
You can hang out with Yavu if you want, Aquila.
Maybe not. If you guys are busy, yeah, I don't want to go by myself.
I mean, if he's nearby, we might duck in for a chat, but, you know, it's not
What if he,
gonna
well, he might put on a pot of coffee, you know? You never know.
go pot of blood?
I don't know if he's into blood.
I think you know that he
Only
is.
Marco's
Last time. He's pretty into blood.
The second question I'll use is it's more of a assessing the situation as we walk through the forest, as we go through, like, what looks edible, what might we be able to eat since Rung's hungry.
So the first thing you spy,
Rocks.
the first thing you spy is a rather delicious-looking mushroom sherbet. But as you go down to pick it, the mushroom spins around, revealing a small face that goes, "Oi, piss off!" and then pops out and begins bouncing away, running away from you, as all these other tiny mushrooms join in. At that point, you realize that everything you thought you knew was real is going to be a bit tricky to correlate and to translate here in the spirit wilds. But after about 5 minutes of walking through the forest, you do spy what look to be apples. Sure enough, as you cautiously approach and go to pick them, nothing yells at you. Pull the apple off, smells and looks really sweet, take a little tentative bite. Tastes like a really nice sweet wild apple.
Look, I eat meat. I'm cool with killing a couple of mushrooms that have faces.
Yeah, I was gonna say, do we need to fry some mushrooms up?
Oh, okay.
Right,
Are you
I've
going
heard
to
this
try
story
and chase
before.
after
No,
mushrooms and kill them?
I'm not chasing the mushroom.
The sentient mushrooms.
What could possibly go wrong?
Nothing, I'm sure.
Mako would just ask them for a wish.
Eating shrooms and picking apples from a tree. It's-
Get me high.
Okay, cool. Well, I guess I'll just start collecting apples as we like walk through, and anytime I
And
find
you
some.
do society as a whole, Bree.
What?
What?
Stealing
Oh,
apples.
yeah.
Adam and
got
Eve.
it. Got it.
Good lord.
I
don't
assume
care,
we're
I'd like to
wandering
go to
north
hell.
towards the sound as we do that.
Yeah, and I assume you're bringing Mango with you as well.
Yeah. Mango's walking?
Walking?
Walking. She seems a bit
Limping?
scared to fly right now,
She limping?
having been blasted out of the sky by lightning.
So do we have to walk down the...
No,
escarpment
you're heading
on-
away from the empty space that just where there's no ground and just hovering trees. You're heading the opposite direction to that.
You look confused.
He looks like he wants to jump into the void.
Yeah, did you want to jump into the void, Aquila?
No, sorry.
Hello?
The volcano.
Yeah?
Did we have to walk down it to go north, or is it just like a flat?
You fell into it. It's all full of water.
Down.
You
Yeah.
fell into it. You climbed out
Yep.
to head towards the east.
North.
Would have taken you out over the empty space. Heading towards the north allowed you to keep moving through the forest. Heading to the west would have taken you around the rim of the
So
volcano.
the volcano.
He's asking if
in-
we're walking downhill.
Yeah, do we have to go downhill?
Yeah,
off
there
the
is a very
volcano?
slight downhill. Yeah. It's a
Okay,
very, very
sorry,
slight
I
downhill.
was assuming like a.
It's not steep. No, this is eroded away over time. It's
Okay,
not very
okay.
steep.
Continue.
That's a fair question. I feel sorry for judging you so harshly and
Ah,
being in
it's
my
just
head.
my
Like,
face.
I think he was trying to correlate what you said earlier about going downwards means further away from the material world.
I
he's
didn't say
trying to figure out
that.
if
He
we're
said
walking
that.
away.
I
He
haven't
said that.
I haven't said that at any
He
point.
said that.
That's something.
He
That's
said
something
that,
Archie
and
has
now
said.
that's in my brain.
I don't know. You all sound the same to me.
At no point have I
Whoa.
confirmed that or even discussed that. That's all Archie.
But he has not denied it either.
Yeah.
No, because it's funny.
The rest he supplied it.
Because the consequences for me are quite hilarious. Yeah, as you continue sort of heading very slight downward incline and moving along, grabbing some apples and having a bit of a snack, you notice probably quite late moving along the ground, Shurva, as you keep an eye out for things that might be dangerous for you. Keeping a lookout through the trees, you do notice these little tendrils of darkness out of the corner of your eye. As you turn, they're suddenly gone. And then again over towards your left, you turn and then they're gone again. And then as you turn around to warn the group, you watch as pushing through the trees, moving them aside as if tearing them apart, this swirling vortex of dark, black, inky roots, almost like a bramble, moving and twisting and undulating over itself. And in the center, this red core, the light shining from within. And as the dark tendrils shoot out and go to grab a hold of each of you, I'm going to get all of you to roll me with Push Your Luck.
No, thank you.
No, you have to, because it's definitely going after you, Aquila.
It's
No,
trickery
thank you.
in this
It
place.
thinks you look pretty tasty.
1009.
Can I try to like jump in the air and fly off with rely on my skills and training?
Ooh, no, because you don't get enough of a warning to like get your kite out, open it, and then go for
That's
a
a
running. It's a 2. Okay.
Like, your entire warning would be me going, wait, and then you grab.
Get got.
As Shurva turns around and goes,
Fine,
"Ah!"
get a roll.
and then that's it. It's a fun noise. Alrighty, so it looks like Aal is a 2, Rung is a 9, Shurva is a 7, Aquila is a 9, Mako is a 7. So the only person who gets caught is Aal, basically. As the rest of you move and duck, Aal, who's probably jumps in the way to protect Mango, just gets grabbed by this tendril of darkness and pulled down towards the ground and held there as you hear this voice call from inside the tendrils of darkness. Aquila, we had a deal.
Oh, for fuck's sake.
No, I'm Al.
Hey, you got the wrong guy. Let him go.
It doesn't seem to be talking to you, Al. I'm going to have us all jump into combat, into some combat exchanges.
Don't know why.
I knew we shouldn't have brought
fuck.
a killer along.
We got plenty of Mako blood if we just
Guys, who knows who this could be? This could be anyone.
This could be
Do
any
any of
You
us
have
recognize the
this real
voice?
Oh yeah, it's definitely Yabu.
Oh yeah.
Yeah,
Oh,
cool.
It could be anyone.
It could be anybody, except we've all heard Yabu
100%.
before.
100% it's
have
Yabu.
like AI to fake voices or something. Who knows?
Yeah, people do weird things.
Just out of curiosity, I can't remember where the penalty for having your balance shifted all the way is, and I'm just trying to read it.
Oh, so that's only in certain situations. I might call upon you to make a balance roll, and then you can't, and you then get knocked out of the combat in a single move.
You lose your balance if your balance shifts past the end of the track.
Yeah.
You lose your balance. You obsess over that principle to a degree that's not healthy for you or anyone around you. You give in or submit to your opposition. You lose control of yourself in a destructive and harmful way, or you take an extreme action in line with the principle, then flee.
Okay, cool. Interesting.
I
And
zoned
then
out.
you
Can say
reset
that
your
again?
balance to the center.
Why are you
Sweet.
thinking about fleeing and leaving us?
No, because I have apparently had a fighting technique which I can push someone else's balance.
Do you reckon he's angry?
I reckon he's not happy.
I think he's slightly pissed.
What does
Okay.
it say about pushing someone's balance? Like pushing an opposition's balance?
Yeah,
So you're trying to knock Yavu out of balance.
Pummel an engaged foe with a quick blow, mark 1 fatigue to shift their balance away from center.
Well, we
That's
would have
what
to.
it says.
Yeah.
Has everyone locked in their combat
Oh,
approach?
No, I didn't know we were doing that.
Yeah.
Doing that. My bad.
I'm gonna go with.
Fuck.
Wait, hang on. So I need to read stuff.
I'm gonna go. Yeah. No, trust mine.
Imagine not
Dave
knowing your
first,
character sheets by
and-
now.
I know.
I'm just not prepared for this. I don't know
Imagine
what to
being
do.
not prepared for this.
That's just my life. Leave me alone.
Imagine
for
that
this.
being your life.
Imagine being alive.
So brutal.
Is that
deserved.
foreboding for R?
Yeah, sure. Why not?
Did that lock in, or do I need to relock
So
it?
that should be all locked in. So has everyone done their things?
I have
I
to
should not
relock
have
it in
done
now
that.
because everyone took too long. Okay, good.
No, it's all in. We've got everything. Alrighty, we've got a few defender maneuvers and then Yavu. So we'll get Shurva first. You are doing a defender maneuver.
Yep. So I
You now
Okay,
roll.
focus
Yep.
7.
You get to pick one thing.
One basic or mastered technique. So I will divert. Step into the way of blows intended for allies. When an ally within reach suffers a blow this exchange, you can suffer it for them. I obviously can't retaliate this exchange, so it'll
This is
just
probably
be.
a slightly more intense music than.
I would just be taking blows intended for allies.
Chat. I shouldn't have done that. Archie sacrifices players to the spirits again. Alrighty, so Shurva, you are taking some blows that otherwise would be meant for your comrades as you pull yourself in and sacrifice yourself for your friends.
Yep. When
Al.
any ally suffers a blow, I suffer
Amazing.
it.
Alrighty. Al, would you like to defend a maneuver?
Are we
Yep, that's a
allies?
9.
Shurva?
9. I think you get to pick one.
Yep. Well, it's going to be seize a position, which is engage/disengage with the foe. So I'm going to do my best to wriggle out from the grip
Yep.
of
You
the
use a
shadow.
blast of air to push the tentacles off you and then spin through the air, pulling yourself upright and sprinting towards the others, using a bit of air bending to push yourself forward.
Yep, that sounds exactly like what I did. But I also know that he can mark 1 fatigue to block this technique as well.
He chooses not to. His focus is on Aquila right now.
I guess I'm running towards Aquila.
Okay, as you sprint towards Aquila, Mango sort of moving to the side, trying to get out of the way of this ball of writhing brambles made of darkness. Alrighty, next up is Aquila. Perfect.
Hello.
Hello. Time for you to die,
Tank Walker
Aquila.
National Tiles.
Yavu from the Spirit Wilds. You owe me blood, Aquila.
Oh boy.
Only Australians will get that.
So I gotta roll with focus,
Absolutely.
right? To
Roll
see
with
what I
focus
can do.
first. Yeah. Because if you get a low number,
Oh, well,
i.e.
fuck me then.
Guessing you got a low number. Let's have a look. Yeah, it's a 5. Nothing. Aquila,
Shouldn't have
you're
spent
just
time worrying about what I do.
probably paralyzed by the sight of this spirit heading towards you. You do nothing.
I'm so confused who it is. You know, it could be anyone.
I mean, he even says, it's Yavu, Aquila. No, he doesn't say that. Mako.
Could be an old ex, you know.
I'm going to, instead of rolling with whatever it normally
With
is,
focus, yeah.
I'm gonna roll with Harmony. Can't knock me down.
Ooh,
It just means I
think you'll
can't use
find
seize.
I can.
Just means I can't use seize the position to
Okay.
escape the fight for the rest of the fight. Doesn't matter anyway. Doesn't matter.
What'd you get? Let me find it.
4.
4. That is a miss. Mako, just unable to do anything. Frightened, terrified. Yavu is going to advance an attack. Yavu flings out a tendril towards Aquila. Aquila, Yavu smashes into you, grabbing onto you with his inky blackness and lifting you up into the air. I'm going to need you to mark the impaired status, please.
Would
Did
I
I
not suffer
is
it
my
for him?
turn after what's his name? Yavu's? Is my turn after that?
Yeah, because you're evade and
Cool,
observe.
Cool. Yeah, just double check.
Now, Bree, let's quickly go through. So what does your thing say exactly about? I think it's damage, so you'll take the damages at him. Do you also take the negative statuses?
When any ally within reach suffers a blow this exchange, you can suffer it for them.
Okay, would you like to take this instead?
Yeah.
Aquila, as these inky black tendrils go to grab you, you close your eyes, ready to embrace the void and be taken. Instead, you feel this rush of air as Shurva pushes her way past you, pushing you down to the side, knocking you on your back as the inky black tendrils grab hold of Shurva and lift her up into the air. Shurva, I need you to mark impaired.
Gotcha.
So you can mark 1 fatigue or take a -2 to all physical actions.
Yeah.
Someone write this
So
fanfic for me, please.
Is that mark 1
Jesus.
fatigue every round?
Just now. Just 1
Just
fatigue.
now.
Yep.
I'll take a fatigue.
Alright, perfect.
Do
How
I
do I-
remain impaired?
You remain impaired for the moment. So, so every round you either mark 1 fatigue, but you get to
Okay.
choose each round. So this time you take 1 fatigue, and then the next round you can go like, yeah, I want to take -2 to physical actions this time. I'm going to do an evade and observe anyway to get out of the way. So that's not a problem.
Shouldn't the -2 to physical actions, like metagaming for a second, be
Yep.
what you take this round? Because this round you've already made your move.
It's actually up to the person who's taking it.
No, I'm saying that to Bree.
Yeah, because you already had your turn.
I'm going to do that then.
Cool,
Oh, wait,
but-
Yeah.
is it
It's-
all contained within 1 round? So if I've already done my attack, it doesn't matter. It's not -2 to my next roll.
So it's going to carry through. So until the beginning of your next turn, you have this. So the end of your next turn, you have this. So the end of your next turn, if you take the -2 to attack rolls now, you'll also get it for your next turn. If you'd taken it before your turn, it then would have been your choice again. So does that make sense? So it will affect your next turn. The -2 to
Okay,
physical
so
stats.
it's a -2 to my next roll.
Yeah.
Does the -2s stack?
No, they don't stack.
Okay.
So you can't have like a -4 or like a -6. It's just -2
Okay.
ongoing.
So I can choose to just take the -2 to every action going forward, and
It's
then every roll
just
would
for
just be
physical
-2.
actions. So, I mean, it's not as bad as it sounds.
Yeah. Okay. I'll have to read through and take note of what counts as physical actions, I guess.
Anything, so like if you were gonna like call out or do like, let me pull up an example. So if you were to do like retaliate, seize a position, strike, pressure, smash, they would be physical actions, but you could do test 1 balance, bolster or hinder or commit, and they wouldn't be physical actions because you're not doing anything physical. You're just, so for test balance, you're asking what the principle is. Bolster or hinder, you're kind of like calling out encouragement to an ally or calling out disencouragement to an enemy.
Okay.
And for commit, you're just taking a moment to go like, oh god, like what do I want? What am I going to do? Like how am I going to deal with this? It's more like an
And
internal.
I'm assuming. I don't really know. Does divert count as a physical action?
Diverts.
Because it says like with an ally within reach suffers a blow exchange, you can suffer it for them.
No,
like,
I wouldn't.
technically,
Yeah,
it would
kind
be
of.
because I would be jumping in front of them, and this is saying that like the impaired actually says like you are slowed or off balance.
But you have to roll for it, do you?
No, you don't have to
With
roll
that
for
bit?
it, so it doesn't matter. You just step in the way of a yeah. So
Well-
it wouldn't. But if you so you wouldn't because you're not rolling for divert, it just happens. So you wouldn't take a -2 to that.
Well,
but then for the
I do
retaliate
have-
bit, you would.
I do have to roll for divert because it's only within this exchange, which is like 1 round.
No,
isn't it?
so you're rolling to do defend a maneuver, but you can
Yeah.
still roll to do defend a maneuver. That's not a physical action. Doing a defend a maneuver, advanced attack, evade, observe, they're not necessarily physical actions. It's the actions underneath them, the actual. So the stance, picking a stance, isn't a physical action. That's you in your head going like, I'm going to try and like be defensive this turn. But if you were then to do defend and maneuver and then try and retaliate, that would be where you get the -2 to the roll. Does that make sense?
No.
Okay, so at the beginning when you roll with focus, passion, or creativity or harmony, what you're doing is in your mind, you're committing to a course of action. So it's all mental. You're going like, yeah, exactly. Like this turn, I am going to be defensive. And then that roll, there's no minuses to that because that's not a physical action, that's a mental action. You've decided on what you're going to do. So for example, if you rolled with focus and got a 7, that wouldn't be with a -2. But if you then wanted to do a retaliate, that would then be with a -2. So,
but you don't roll for attacks. That take a stance roll is the roll for everything you do in that exchange, in that turn.
Oh, but so some of them give you like a -2 to do things too. So for example, if like you were to do a retaliate where it says like inflict 1 fatigue, I think that would mean that it's no fatigue. Let me have a quick look. So what's the? Let me have a look. It's impaired. I'll see if there's been any clarification.
You see where my confusion's coming from.
I can see where your confusion's coming from.
Yeah, it's not like in D&D where you roll to hit and then you roll damage.
Yeah. No, I know what you mean.
This is just one roll.
Let me pull open the full version of the book, and we will. Going to do a quick rules check. In the meantime, though, we'll
Sorry,
keep going.
Guys,
No, it's all good. In the meantime, did you?
We all We've never had to deal with like these statuses before. Like this is all kind of new.
Compare. All right. Let's have a quick look.
I think we just risk it, right? We just risk it.
Here we go. Impaired is the status when you're standing on slippery ice. You can ignore the effects of impaired at the cost of 1 fatigue. It does include the stance move in combat exchanges. Yes, so it does include that for PCs only. So for player characters only, impaired forces them to roll at -2 for any physical action, which includes the stance move in combat exchanges. A PC might be able to get away with pleading or guiding and comforting without taking the -2, but sometimes it's still hard to plead through a cloud of smoke. Marking fatigue to ignore the -2 represents expending extra energy to shake it off. That said, impaired is usually the first and easiest negative status to inflict on anyone and the easiest status to clear. So for an NPC, the GM makes moves. So for NPCs, it's different. Sorry. So what I was describing is what happens to NPCs because it'd be like a -2 in that regard. So for PCs,
does the mark 1 fatigue clear the impaired?
Yep. Yeah. You mark 1 fatigue. You can ignore the effects of being impaired at the cost of 1 fatigue, and then
does
you
that
mark
then
fatigue to push your way through the
impaired?
smoke, but still function. If you wanted to airbend the smoke cloud away, you might be better off using ready. Marking fatigue to ignore the -2 represents expending extra energy to temporarily overcome the impairment, but it's still present and still affects you the next time you try a physical action.
Okay.
No.
Fair enough. So I can pretty much choose at the beginning of my turn to mark a fatigue to be able to do something.
Yes.
Or, based on the fact that I'm being held by a tendril and that's why I'm impaired, I can still do things that would canonically work
Exactly.
for my situation.
So I'd argue that the
Without
entire
taking-
evade and observe would still work.
Yeah. Okay, cool. Makes sense. That's
Brilliant.
Clear. Thank you.
So now that Yavu has you and grabs onto you and pulls you up and impairs you, it calls out towards Aquila, sort of looking and going, and you are not who I want. Aquila, we had a deal, and you reneged on it. You were to deliver me to the physical world. Now you are trapped in here with me. I'm going to enjoy this, Aquila.
It was not. It was not because of. I did not stop you from entering. I just want that on record.
Okay.
Got it. I've got my cold.
Yeah. Write it down. I
Nailed.
didn't do it.
Rung, you are next. Could you please roll me with creativity or harmony?
I rolled before, and I can tell you it was like a 3 or a 4.
4. That is a miss. Rung, the side of this thing is just so unnatural. Probably the inky blackness for a second. You're like, oh, the coal has come alive. And then you realize, oh, no, it's oil. This is less exciting.
I'm more scared than a kid. Like, no, I'm sorry.
Alrighty. Can everyone pick an approach and commit to it?
Yeah.
It means the status empowered is like crazy strong.
All the statuses
Your
are crazy
abilities are
strong.
naturally stronger in this moment. Clear 1 fatigue at the end of each exchange.
Yeah,
And so
yeah.
it stays there for every exchange.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I can't. Have you opened
So
it?
someone wants to like do that for me?
Oh, sorry, I just rolled. My mistake.
Do you need to open it?
Doomed is
still
also terrible as well. Doomed mark 1 fatigue every few seconds. It's just brutal.
Mine's not letting me choose a combat exchange.
Just refresh.
No,
Try again now.
that's better.
Yes.
Might have been Dungeon Master's fault. Might have been
Two,
DM's
Owen.
fault.
Andrew.
Never you.
What?
Two.
Never you.
2.
Two.
Dave, can I get you to move your webcam slightly towards your right?
What?
I'll just move myself.
Okay, that works too.
Okay.
Alrighty, is everyone locked in?
Wait, my camera died. Sorry, 1 second.
It's okay.
No, you look great.
You look better this way.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
I like him like this.
Oh no, he didn't get locked in.
Oh, he's gone.
That's alright.
I can tell you, it's been like an hour and a half.
Alright.
Sweet.
Do it again. Everyone
I was just-
pick a thing again. Everyone pick a thing again.
I was just gonna say, would you say like the tentacle? It would be like something you could smash.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, you can.
Oh, yeah.
You could.
Yeah.
That's
I
what I
think
want
I've
to
seen that in the
think
videos.
on.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure there's like
There's like a
Um,
specific video for that.
I feel like
Isn't
there's a
that an
whole
anime?
isn't there a whole genre for that?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, what's it called? What's it
called,
called?
like,
Genuinely, what's it called?
Tentacle.
Itachi.
Itachi? I don't think it's called Itachi.
Itachi's something very
It's
different.
It's hens.
Oh yeah, there you go. Yeah. Isn't
just want
Itachi a
to-
Naruto character?
Owen.
That's pretty
Never heard
Oh
of it.
yeah, he's the one with the magic wand, isn't he? Crazy.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure
Yeah.
Itachi's a
magic
Naruto
wand.
character.
Oh,
Yeah, he
really?
is.
You can't fool me.
He looks the exact same as
For an air conditioner.
Sasuke.
Oh, Sasuke.
Except if it's Itachi.
I constantly pretend to get them confused because it upsets Darren.
Oh, you are
That's
first.
me.
I thought you were gonna say you are.
Yo.
Literally, as these tentacles begin writhing towards you rapidly.
Ooh. Excited.
Blech.
Send them my way.
Ugh.
They don't call me AquaticArchie for nothing.
Did I roll some
Yabu?
fruit? Yep.
What would you like to do? Oh, 9, success. Pick a thing. Pick
I
an
would
approach.
like to ready, which is mark 1 fatigue to ready yourself or environment, assigning. Oh, that's it's marking myself. Officially appropriate status or
God,
nearby
no.
characters or yourself. Yeah, sorry. So I can clear the condition. So I'm going to thematically. I was running towards Aquila, so I like dodge roll out of the way towards Shurva and like use airbending to smack the tentacle to release Shurva, and hence removing the impaired status from her.
Brilliant. I would say that you can do that.
Yep.
That's you spend a fatigue, you rush in,
Yep.
smash away at the tentacles with your staff, pushing them off her and allowing Shurva to scramble to safety.
Yay.
You're welcome.
Next up in our exchange is Rung-Bolo.
All right. I'd like to try and smash that little tentacle. So I believe I roll with Passion and Mark of Fatigue.
That is correct. We have to, so to do a smash before you do that, you have to roll with passion first to see if you can.
Oh yeah.
Come on,
Can you
rolled and I
smash?
kicked off really quickly. I was like MLG.
Let me
game
smash,
really.
Becky.
Was it 9? Did I see correctly? Or was I wrong?
No, 9, you get to pick one. So you may pick a smash. Mark 1 fatigue to destroy or destabilize something in the environment, possibly inflicting or overcoming a fictionally appropriate positive or negative status. What are you trying to smash? You're trying to break the tentacles and trying to stun the
Yeah.
creature, are you?
Yeah, I'd like to. Yeah, exactly right. Like, because it's holding up Shurva, is it, or is it holding up
Not holding any
Not
up
anymore.
anymore.
I'll knock
not anymore.
Shurva free. Yep.
Either way, like that tentacle, it's got to be out of here. I'm just coming in here, like I got my stone fist thing. I'm putting it. I'm like, "Ah!" I'm trying to just blow
Just
it up.
punch it right in the face in the middle
as
of
hard
this.
as I can.
Yeah, in the middle of this writhing mass of tentacles.
If it
Yeah,
had a face, wherever it is.
yeah, you inflict stun.
No.
Yavu does not get to make a response this turn. Although
Fisted it to death. Perfect. Take.
Why is there a YouTube link?
There's not a YouTube link. Oh, there's a YouTube
I
link.
click
That's
every
a way.
link I get sent. Email me if you want to, like, I don't know, get into my computer.
Yeah, I would. What?
It's just the first video of Becky Let Me Smash.
Oh, yeah, that's
okay.
that makes sense.
It's a classic. It's for those who don't understand the reference in chat.
You Swooty coming for the booty. God, I haven't seen that in ages.
As you smash into Yavu, the writhing mass at the center sort of slows a little bit, and the red light pulses ever so slightly. And you hear this voice: "You can't stop me."
Want to bet?
Next
But I can
up
punch you over and over
is
again.
Mako.
Done it before. We'll do it again.
Let's see if I can do. Oh, fuck yeah.
Woo!
10. Mako, you get to
10.
pick two different attack,
Two
advance and
things.
attack moves.
Two different.
Two
Two
different.
different.
Yeah. You kept double striking last time.
I kept
Yeah.
double striking. Yeah, I didn't know that'd be different.
Yeah.
Yeah, I only
That's
just
okay.
okay. that myself.
Hey,
Who can I use? Oh, okay. Yeah.
sorry.
Wait.
While he's reading, can I ask a quick question?
Yeah.
Oh,
You asked it. That was it.
Say you roll a 10, right?
Yeah.
You're a 10.
Are you able? I am. I know. Are you able to use one fighting technique and like a basic move?
100%.
Okay,
Mhm.
cool. So it doesn't have to both be fighting techniques.
No.
Okay. All right. Cool.
I'm going to strike for one.
I figured you might.
Yeah, obviously. Me? No. You really shouldn't have picked on that one. And I just hurl a ball of fire at it.
Oh, nice. Okay. Yep.
And then I'm gonna pressure it.
Okay. So for strike, you force it to mark 2 fatigue or a condition or shift its balance.
Yep. Yeah. I'm
Or
not-
you can take a fatigue.
Nope.
No, you're not taking a fatigue? All right.
I'm okay.
You sure you don't want to take one fatigue?
Don't take a fatigue?
One fatigue.
You can take one.
Just one.
Just
I have. It depends on what happens next round. I have to.
You've only got 2 fatigue left, so you'll be fine. And you're angry
Yeah.
and you're insecure.
Yeah.
Yeah, but what about in the game?
really not good?
Don't at me. Jeez.
I'm just
So I'll
like.
just say, what about in the game? That's really good.
Yeah. And for pressure, you can impress or intimidate a foe, and you choose an approach. The foe cannot choose that approach next exchange. What approach would you like to prevent Yavu taking?
Is that wait. Like strike, or is that like advance and attack?
Advance and attack, or
Yes.
defend and maneuver, or evade themselves.
Advance and attack.
So it can't take advance and attack. Awesome.
Yep.
Yavu's go next. Yavu sort of shakes itself. You see these swirling tendrils moving almost a little bit lethargically under the effect of this stun from Rung. And then with a pulse of red light, it shakes off the effect, smashing down all around it. Rung and Mako, who are probably the two closest at this stage. Probably Rung and Mako are the two closest. Mako having stepped up to blast this fireball.
Yeah,
and,
I would have had to. Yeah.
Rung having rushed in to punch it. I need both of you to mark a condition for me. I would say afraid, as these giant black
okay.
tendrils
I can do that
slam
one.
down, crushing into you, forcing you backwards, and really giving you a sense of how dangerous it is to take on this spirit. Next up in our order is Aquila.
Fuck. Okay. Will I roll for? I can roll creativity or harmony. Is that right?
Your choice. Yep.
Definitely harmony.
11. Absolute success. That means you get to pick 2.
You also clear a fatigue.
What?
At the end of your thing.
Evade and observe, clear
Yep.
1 fatigue, and roll with
Very
creativity.
good.
and
Yeah, at
harmony.
the start.
Wait,
at the start.
now?
At
Wait,
the
yeah,
end of
now?
the turn. No.
No, it says it at the start, right?
It
Oh,
just
is it
says
the start?
clear 1
Roll.
This
fatigue
is
and
the
roll.
Then you
Andrew.
get to clear 1 fatigue first.
I'm coming for you, baby.
Oh yeah,
Baby.
we got this.
All right.
Ooh.
I'm gonna use spirit calming.
Ooh, okay. Brilliant.
This scares
Um,
me because I've been reading it a lot and it stresses me out.
Why does it stress you out?
Well, now I
What can go
have.
wrong?
Now I only have 2 fatigue, so it's a little okay. But if I miss, I have to mark 2 fatigue and take a condition.
You do, yeah. Yep.
Yeah. And also, if
Uh,
I get 7 or 9, I
CBD
still
or
have to
something
take
like
a
coming down.
fatigue.
Yep. I'd like you to roll with push your luck, please.
Is here's the plan selective, DM?
Yes, it is.
So you can add a +1 to it. We still have 2 like +1s sitting around.
You can get a +2. No, you can just get
I'll take both.
7 success with consequences. Nice.
So I take a fatigue.
Yep. On a 7 to 9, you calm the spirit. However, it takes some time. All who are making this attempt mark 1 fatigue.
That's me.
Aquila, you pull forwards, like almost breaking open your water skin as you pull forth the water and begin to create this double helix around Yavu. Focusing with all of your might, trying to calm yourself, you concentrate. And as the water begins to form up in this double helix, that same silvery golden light that you've seen before begins to form at the base. You hear a chuckle from Yavu. You think you're strong enough, Aquila. You think you have any ability to influence me. You are not the puppet master, Aquila.
I mean,
I am. You do that. That is your full turn.
I am.
I thought you were about to say.
I have
thought you were
one
about to laugh
other
and say,
turn.
"I am calm."
Thank you.
What was that? Sorry, Aquila.
I have one more move.
What would you like to do?
Watching.
I've got some ASMR for you. Put the headphones in and just chill the fuck out, okay?
It's just Amaranth licking an earpiece.
Nah, for Aquila, it's just like waves on a beach.
Waves of blood.
And then occasionally like the cracking of joints as someone's blood bended.
Reading blood.
I would like to guide and comfort Mako.
Aww, that's
I thought
nice.
you were going to say Yabu.
Take off your fatigue and conditions.
So for guide and comfort, they may clear a condition or 2 fatigue.
Yeah. So I've got to roll for that as well, right?
You have to roll with harmony, yeah.
Yep. How's a
You have to roll
9?
again.
Yeah, you still have to roll with harmony for any of the basic moves because they're specific for that. So, Mako, you can choose to embrace the guidance and comfort and clear a condition or 2 fatigue, and then also you have to answer a question honestly of Aquila.
Ah, shit.
Or you can
trap.
shut Aquila down and inflict a condition on him. and then he gets to shift your balance.
No, we don't want that bit though.
You could take Mako out of this fight.
Yeah.
Depends on what he does, though.
Oh no, I'll just become a raging ball of hate.
Fire.
I'm gonna clear 2 fatigue because I really need that.
What? That's almost. What?
Aquila, you get to ask Mako a question.
Honestly, I didn't read that part.
Neither did I.
How's your dad? We have problems right now. We have bigger problems right now.
He's doing pretty well now that he's alive and all.
Dating Mako.
He's doing pretty well now that it's alive. It's good.
Fantastic. That is
feeling better now.
the end of the evade and observe. Oh no, sorry, Shurva. You also did evade and observe. It is your turn,
I
Shurva.
did.
Clear fatigue, and then take a move.
Harmony. So that is a miss. But I will shift my balance away from center to use a basic technique.
Yeah.
And I will bolster or hinder. So aid or impede a nearby character, inflicting an appropriate status.
Yep.
Let me just shift my balance back to where it was. Great. I will empower Aquila.
Woo!
Alrighty.
So you will clear 1 fatigue at the end of each exchange. And to make it a bit more story driven, the way that I am aiding him is by bringing out the singing bowl and woo.
Ooh, okay. As you
That
begin,
would hopefully empower what he's trying to do.
as you begin playing the singing bowl, that pure tone echoes out. Shurva, you watch as all around you in the trees, those little forest spirits that you saw before, all suddenly poke their heads out through the foliage, climbing down from the branches and clinging to the tree trunks. And they begin shaking their heads. That sound of almost like seeds inside of a seed pod, shaking from all around. And as that tone rings out, the golden light from this double helix that Aquila is using to calm Yavu gets a little bit stronger.
Is this the percussion we were talking about earlier?
Yeah, this is your percussion.
Our friends
alrighty.
the maracas.
Next.
Don't forget to mark empowered.
Me?
Archie.
Yes, you, Archie.
Yay!
I mean, I can mark it for Yavu if you want, but
No, it's
And then
alright.
at the end of each exchange, he clears fatigue. Does that include right now?
yes, it does. Yes, it does. Definitely,
Woo!
Yeah.
definitely.
I appreciate that. Thank you.
Alrighty,
Yes,
everyone,
you're
pick a new
Now-
combat approach.
Now, from
Hello.
previous experience,
Did you go first?
we can't hit the creature while it's getting calmed, can we?
Hmm.
Just
It's a good
like-
question, isn't it?
Do I need to
Probably
keep
shouldn't.
calming it?
like as in strike, but if we pressure it and stuff like that, it's
You know specifically that it's going to take a bit of time.
okay. Cool.
Do I have to keep calming?
Because you did the 7 to 9, you calm the spirit. However, it takes some time. So yeah, you will have to commit to it one more time.
So I'll have to roll for it again, or just
Yeah,
Do
and
it.
you're gonna have to hope
Okay.
you roll at least a 7 or 9 or above. 7 to 9 or
Yeah.
above.
look at me, easy.
I love hearing that. That's exactly what I want to hear, Archie.
Fuck. I just want to check something. I'd like to stand and fight against this bad boy here after punching him. I need to. It says you provoke an NPC opponent to attack and you roll for passion on hit. They specifically come towards you. Is that do I have to do intimidate? In the combat moves to do that because we're working with. I know it's with passion. Sorry.
Yeah.
They use pressure. Sorry. Yeah.
No, you don't have to. So you can do the basic moves as part of any other move because you roll separately for them.
Why are you
Oh,
taunting
sweet, so I
him when
can-
we're trying to calm him?
No,
I was
you
gonna
wanna
do
calm
the
him?
same thing. Don't worry.
yeah. I just want him to come towards me if he's going to do anything.
Yeah,
Oh,
I was
no
thinking the
worries.
same thing.
You can always rely on these two to derail.
Okay.
Yeah.
You're right.
We're not
you're
hitting him.
Right.
No,
You're
but
right.
you're
He's hitting
taunting
us.
him.
He's
No,
hitting
well,
us.
I'm just intimidating him.
Yeah, just
Or
intimidating.
I could impress him.
Yeah.
You already impressed me.
Oh.
Has everyone locked
No
in
one
their
cares,
combat
Aquila.
approach?
Yes, Dad.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know what I'm doing now.
Did, but now it's gone.
I know what I'm doing.
It's because he takes.
Oh wait, it unchecked. Sorry, I'll recheck it.
No, you're there. Evade and observe.
Yep.
Yep, everyone's there. Yavu is first, defending and maneuvering. Yavu is going to use the tendrils of darkness that surround its body to try and break through the ground underneath. Essentially, going to try and do a Caesar position to break free of Aquila's control. As it smashes free and pushes out from inside Aquila, the water is disrupted momentarily. It's going to be a little bit harder to contain it than it was a second ago. Hello?
Can we mark
a
fatigue?
fatigue to prevent that?
Yeah, someone can mark fatigue to try and block that.
Yep, I'll do it.
I have lots of fatigue. I'll have
I-
to do it.
I also have lots now because I just marked 2. Cleared 2.
Why?
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Oh, you step in and blast it back with airbending, pushing it back and basically forcing Yavu back into the center of this spirit calming vortex, this double helix. Yavu cries
Stay,
out
boy.
this
Stay.
nice, this like echoing roar, and you hear a second later a roar echoing back from the sky.
Alright.
Alrighty. Rung, you are next with advance and attack.
So I'm just watching them both wrangling the dogs behind me. I was aiming to impress Yavu if I can. Roll my passione.
Okay.
And your disciple, I see.
So I'm going to get you to...
killer's roll.
Yep, so roll with Passion. That is a miss.
can shift your balance to still do a basic.
So you want to shift your balance to still do a basic move?
It has to be away from center, so whichever direction you're currently.
So that
toward.
take you towards force.
My basic moves would be punching or fighting.
Your basic moves would be assess the situation, guide and comfort, help, intimidate, plead,
those
push your
ones.
luck, skills and training, or trick.
If I push my luck, can I see if I can do what I want to do to impress you?
You can. So you want to try push your luck and basically. So in this case, push your luck wouldn't quite work because what are you trying to do? What are you trying to do?
Basically, I want to tell him like he looks amazing since like
Bree.
we last seen him, and he's in the circle of vortex, and like he just looks really good right now.
Did you become a bard?
It's basic
think so.
technique. So basic technique would be like strike, pressure, smash. It's still in the combat menu.
Oh, I thought it said you could do basic moves as well. I'm pretty sure you could, couldn't you?
You can do them as well. You can choose
Yeah.
to do that or this. So he can also strike,
Also do-
pressure, or smash.
yeah. I don't know if you wanted to do those. Did you, Rome?
So he could still do pressure if he wanted to.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'll try it out. Let's
Okay.
give it a go.
So
Let's
shift your
see anything else
balance.
in this
Shift
thing.
your balance towards force and try and impress Yavu.
Let's hit the force side, baby.
The new Aquila.
Let's go.
I just really want to learn how to do iron bending from inside people's blood. That's an earthbender technique, I'm pretty sure.
Oh, that would be awesome.
Legs 11.
Choose an approach. Your foe cannot use that approach in the next exchange. I don't know why you rolled. You didn't need to, but
You
that's okay.
didn't.
I just want to feel good about it. I don't know.
Okay.
I'm just happy for things. Don't take this from me.
Sorry, my bad. Sorry.
Joke. No more advanced attacking again. And just tell him like, have you
fuck
found
this
new blood
creature.
since we last seen you? Like, you look amazing right here with the light and everything in this spot here of this like vortex thing. You look incredible, Yabu. Stay there.
Cool. Yavu doesn't seem to
there?
respond. Yavu does not seem to respond. Al,
He's
you are next.
Yes, I will roll with creativity. That's an 11. Yeah.
Pick two, baby.
First of all, I would like to bolster, and I would like to bolster Aquila, who's doing the. And I would bolster him with prepared. So I guess what I'm gonna do is airbend like some of the wind around Aquila right now, just to like help him focus. So it's like he's more of like a vacuum kind of spot. But yeah, it's air to breathe, obviously.
Yep.
But just kind of like help him breathe. Help him.
As you like fucking Earth Queen him.
It's free.
And so he has prepared, which and lets him take a +1 to an appropriate roll
Brilliant.
after the roll.
Brilliant.
So now he can technically add a +2 if he needs to, or avoid marking any condition. Then my second move is to test balance, and I'm going to
Okay,
test
cool.
Yavu's balance.
Oh shit.
Yep. No. Yep. I was about to do the exact same thing.
Yep.
That's good because one of us can ask the principal and the other one can like shift it by questioning.
None of us are in high school.
That's Principal.
For fuck's sake.
Why do we come here?
Yavu, what are you doing here? Why? What is it that you're after? What is it that you're really after? It can't just be Aquila.
Freedom.
So ask what their principal is, yeah.
Escape from this prison.
So I take that one of his principles is freedom.
Yes.
But yeah.
And the other one's escape from prison.
Well, you get the sense that's freedom and chaos. Because they're not exactly opposite, but they are sometimes at cross purposes to one another. Or maybe freedom and
Cool.
tyranny. Maybe freedom and tyranny would be a better. Maybe that would be a better breakdown between the two.
Okay, thanks Yavu. Okay, thanks, bye.
Okay, thanks. Bye. Nice. Alrighty. Next up is Aquila.
Hello. Thank you for having me.
Thank you for being here, Aquila. If you could take your turn, and we'll get ready for you in a minute.
Yep, sure. How's that? I can add 2 to that, but I'll just take the 1.
Oh.
I'll take the 1 that Al has given me.
Okay, and make it a 7, which is a success.
That is a success.
Oh.
That phrase wasn't a success.
I suggest using the +1 from the here's the plan.
Sure.
And
Is
then
that way you
saving
can
that
still do a
+1
later?
Yeah,
Oh,
saving
okay.
the +2 for when you need it.
I will also unmark a fatigue from
Yep.
Empowered, which I
Yep.
still have, I believe.
That's at the end of the
End of the exchange, but you get to clear 1 fatigue because you're doing evade and observe.
Yeah, sure.
Just yes. Yeah.
Yes.
You'll get to clear 2 fatigue for this round.
Yeah.
Alright, cool. Thanks, Dad. And I'll push my luck for Spirit Calming.
Yep.
Which is, sorry. I'll be continuing Spirit Calming on this turn.
Yep. Would you like to make push your luck roll?
Yeah, I just did.
I can't see
I
it.
can add a 1 to it, but it won't make any difference.
Sure. 8
I've
is a
added 2.
success.
I'll take
You can
a
add 2
fatigue.
to
Oh, you can add 2.
You could add 2 and make it a full
Can I? Can I add 2?
Yeah.
from Dave.
So what happens is that we have
Oh,
another
one
+1
there,
from
one
here's the
from there.
plan.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Do that.
Alrighty.
Done. We
As you
win.
add your last +1 from Here's the Plan, so you now no longer benefit from +1s from Here's the Plan, and then add the +1 from Arl's Empowered. As you prepared. As
You
you
are
as
no
you
longer prepared.
yeah, you're no longer prepared. As you focus and begin completing this double helix, as you bring it round and seal it, for a moment you think you've got him, and then a tendril blasts through, cutting through the helix. And Yavu explodes outwards, growing in size rapidly, the red center pulsing even brighter than before. Did you really think it would be that easy?
Yes.
Yeah, because it says here on a hit 10 plus, you succeed in calming.
Yeah. Unfortunately, this is not your average spirit.
Yeah, but your sensors shouldn't be that red. You should get that checked.
Nice. Anything else on your turn, Archie? Or Aquila, I should say.
No, that's all I can do.
I pass over to Shurva.
Oh,
Yo.
what up?
Remove a fatigue and then have your turn.
Remove fatigue and then miss. Sounds good to me.
6. That is a miss. Did you want to take a +1 from Here's the Plan?
There's none left.
Oh, that's it. They're gone. That's right. They are all gone.
Yep.
And
that's a
I'm
miss.
not shifting.
Okay. In that case,
I
then.
think I've realized something that helps. Let me double check.
Oh boy.
No, I'm impressed. No, it's okay. Don't. It's fine. Don't. It's cool. Cool. I just realized I was afraid.
Okay.
And
In
I
that
had
case, then,
negative
with,
I was
feedback, but
afraid.
I was impressing.
as Yavu breaks free, shattering the water helix around, suddenly this flash of shiny scales pushes through the trees, and you get this impression of this incredible speed as this large serpentine creature with red scales
A dragon.
pushes past, slightly
My
ghostly
moon.
and see-through, and it looks like there's a figure in red robes, long white beard, sitting on its back.
Broken.
And as it pushes through, this blast of fire from the dragon's maw strikes into Yavu. Aquila,
Goku?
that distraction is all you need to begin continuing with the spirit bending. As Arl swings around using his blasts of compressed air to keep Yavu in position, Rung, you begin pushing up sections of the earth to basically create like a little stone wall around the tendrils, keeping them locked in place. Mako and Shurva, combinations of your whip and fire helping to keep this
I was
thing
gonna
back.
say, what the heck am I doing?
Oh, every time the tendrils go for the rest of your friends, you like whip them and pull them out of the way, essentially protecting everyone around you as you knock these tendrils out of position. As that final blast of fire strikes into Yavu's center, the helix completes, and you watch as Yavu suddenly compresses to a single black ball. And then the figure on Dragonback reaches down, pulls out this bizarre looking, almost like a metal pot, and scoops up this black darkness, slamming the lid on. And as the dragon spins around and lands in
Dude
front
just
of you,
put him in an urn.
yeah, dude just earned him.
Jesus.
He earned it. Yeah, exactly. Thank you.
God damn it.
As the dragon lands, its wings flapping impressively, this long serpentine body rising up and letting out this very triumphant roar, the same roar that you heard before, a figure
Rawr.
drops down from its back. An older man, probably in his late 70s, maybe early 80s, with long white grey hair, dressed in very typical Fire Nation regalia. A figure that Shurva and Mako have both seen before.
Yee.
He is our god.
Avatar Roku.
All hail.
And as he looks down and finishes sealing the jar, he looks up and goes, "Well, children, it seems you are a little bit lost, I would say."
No.
Should we fall to our knees and like bow?
I bow, yep.
Yeah.
I'm already down. I've got my own little pad.
Yeah, like, I'm
down,
bowing.
with knees on it.
Please don't bow. What
It's okay,
are
I'm
you?
not.
He doesn't look at you and acknowledge you.
Jesus Christ.
What are you doing here in the spirit wilds?
Lightning?
We got Lyle.
Well, we were calming down a spirit air bison. And then we got zapped by lightning and brought here.
Ah, yes. You've been knocked here by Cloudbreaker. I can
Get
take
on.
you to Cloudbreaker's presence in the spirit wilds. Perhaps we can help you get home. But tell me, why are you taking it on your shoulders, this burden to calm the spirits?
Because it's Marco's
we're
fault.
awesome.
We're the best of the best.
Okay.
We're the best and the best.
That one's
Ooh.
Mako.
Well,
Who's
yeah,
Mark?
Because if we don't do it, Marco might die.
Oh yeah.
Yalby wanted all his blood, but thanks to you, he's not going to get any of his blood, I think.
Marco-
Doesn't he need blood still?
What did I do? What do you mean? Thanks to him.
Does seem a bit harsh.
Oh, well. It's a team effort, but
Thanks to
come on.
him.
Come on.
He showed up at the
You
last
do.
second and picked him up.
Yeah, but it's Avatar Roku. But you did
Don't be
great.
disrespectful. Hush.
Hush.
So,
yeah.
long story short, this one made a wish that imbalanced the world, the spirit world, and we're trying to fix that by talking to the three elements, spirit guardians, and counting them down.
I'm sure
Four,
you
yeah,
would
sorry,
have
three
felt
left.
the disturbance in the force, etc.
I think all in the spirit wilds felt the disturbance in the force, as you put it.
Yeah, that guy.
I am very sorry that I am not there to take on this burden. It is not right that one's so young should have to carry this burden all by themselves.
Yeah.
We got like
be what
You
it
didn't do
more
us a
people.
favor by dying.
If I had had a choice in the matter, I can assure you I would not have done so.
Just
how,
get
how
a.
did you die?
Yeah, actually, yeah.
Surely the news of the volcanic eruption has reached the
Okay,
other
so
nations
that-
by now.
Cool,
So
what's
the
that?
volcano just erupted on your island? Is that?
Yes, and I gave everything I could to stop the lava and the gas from wiping out the village below. While I was able to save most of the inhabitants, I wasn't able to do it without taking some rather bad damage myself. And when Fire Lord Ozai came and assisted, I thought maybe he would help carry me to safety. But he didn't.
What?
What did you
Staring
do?
at
inside?
Wait, what?
Whether he thought I was too far gone, or whether he saw a chance for his plans to come to fruition, Fire Lord Ozai left me there, on the slopes of the mountain.
Now, when you say. You know what? Let's not touch that. Because I think I know.
We
what that
have
is.
a side plot here where we think that the Fire Nation are plotting a siege against the Earth Nation.
Hey,
Yeah.
Kind
hey,
of
hey, hey,
evil
hey.
is one word. They kind of tried to take down Ba Sing Se, and I think they're kind of evil.
Do
Yeah,
not.
trying to use, like-
No. They killed your dad, Marco, in an alternate timeline. They killed your
They
dad.
killed my dad. They killed a lot of people in an alternate timeline.
Listen to me. You need to be very careful. You cannot trust any members of the Fire Nation nobility.
Oi,
Hey, my dad's fine.
I'll take some
See?
stuff away.
Marco
from
Shurva?
Marco
You would
is
know.
literally
You would
nobody.
know. You would know that your father is an ambassador, not a member of the royal family. I mean, nice try. but
Basically, no.
Royalty
No,
check.
he's not,
Basically.
you would know that you are not nobility.
Yeah. Do you know like they had this giant like
Salamander?
lion turtle shell knot thing? That was meant to be like a spirit weapon.
Fire Lord Ozai and I had ceased to talk for some years prior to this. He shared with me his plans to help liberate the world, as he put it, and I put him firmly in his place. Any communication since then was cut off the last time.
Not firm enough, I see.
No. I would be very surprised if it was something that he would have shared with me anyway. He knew my stance on the Fire Nation's expansionistic policies, and well, I fear for the next Avatar. Such a young
there's-
baby.
Multiple things happening there, but that's not the point.
That's a problem for later.
Yeah, that's a later problem. Like, there's multiple
Yeah.
problems with that already, but like, we'll get there later.
I regret that the next Avatar will have to carry the burden of my failure. I should have acted more. I should have done more sooner to prevent Ozai. I tried to foster peace and harmony, and it made me blind to his greed and his corruption.
I think you're only one man. You can only ever do so much for the world. It's
That is the role of the
possible to
Avatar.
ask for someone else to help you out. That's true.
On a slightly different note, do you know any like dragons are in the material world?
Yes, there are a number of dragons in the outer northwest isles of the Fire Nation. There should still be some
okay,
that have
cool.
not yet been hunted. The
Whew,
sport of
okay,
dragon
cool.
hunting is a foul, disgusting practice, one that I should have stamped out sooner.
Yeah, because we do need to see one, and I just wanted to make sure there were some.
There are still some. The Fire Lord Ozai, I know, has killed one himself, but some other members of the royal family and generals under his command.
Cool.
I was just. Oh, sorry.
No,
I
go,
was
go, go.
just wondering. I was look at Arl. It was like I can't remember if we saw this out, but that time in the Earth Kingdom, in the tunnels, in the man, the king, perhaps with the lantern.
Oh,
and
yeah.
staff, green light. It's like, do you know of any spirits or anything like that
Do you
around
know
this area?
who has the token?
It
Might have been
was
Oki.
Yeah, it was
Oki.
Oki, right?
at the time. Yeah,
Shit.
had the pachinko, not pachinko. not
Shogi
that.
piece, was it?
Chess
Pachinko.
piece, or it was a chess piece, or like a.
It was a lotus. It was a lotus, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was a
it's
lotus.
little lotus piece.
I was gonna be like, do you recognize this? But we don't have it.
Just
Don't worry.
describe it.
We
Just describe,
describe it? Like, describe that, and then
Do you
the
know
man
what?
that we've seen
Do
here.
you know who this belongs
Who was
to?
this
Like,
guy?
and we'll just describe
Would
the token.
Roku know about the White Lotus? That's a good question. He probably wouldn't.
That's something we can ask ChatGPT.
Oh yeah, no. Having done so following the death of Avatar Kuruk and later at the request of Avatar Aang. So yeah, potentially he would know about here you go, 100-Year War. Oh, we don't know. We don't know if Roku knew about the White Lotus. I'm gonna home rule on that. I believe I've seen this symbol before, but couldn't tell you much about it. Seemed like a group of scholars from my youth when I was learning to be the Avatar. Occasionally, I'd see this symbol. I'm not sure much more about it. Seems like a group of scholars more than anything else.
Okay.
That's better than what we had. We thought this man was a king of an old king, dead king, or something like that from
Yeah.
Barsing's day. Like green glow, big staff, badger mole friends.
It was like in the mines
We
of the
don't know
Badger
much
Mole,
about
like a
that.
spirit just wandering the mines.
Spirits can
We have to
be
find a badger mole.
spirits can be a bit tricky. They can sometimes change their shape and change how they look and how they appear. I would be very surprised if it was the spirit of an old king of the Earth Kingdoms. The Earth no offense, as he looks towards Rung, no offense, but spirituality and spiritual enlightenment is not something that the members of the Earth Kingdom, royal family, and nobility seek. I would be very surprised if one of them had reached the level of enlightenment needed to arrive in the spirit wilds. I suspect you spoke with something else.
I'm a bit agnostic, you're right when I think about it. Yeah. Rung reflects on the lack of spirituality in growing up. He's like, yeah, being in spirit wilds.
Now, quickly, I need to get you to Cloudbreaker before the connection between the spirit wilds and the material plane fades once more. That unleashing of energy is what drew me here. I could sense a massive burst of energy, and I wanted to see if there was any damage done. And it's quite fortuitous that I found you here, young ones. Let's get you back home.
Yay.
Yep.
Please,
Avatar Roku,
climb aboard, Fang.
Roku.
Yes, my young airbender.
Fuck yes.
Question. We need to calm all 3 of the spirits. Should we calm the other 2 while we're here?
You won't find them fully here. The spirits exist in between the planes, moving between them. They are exceptions to the seal.
Yeah, that would have made it too easy.
They can move between them, and distance in the spirit wilds can be a bit odd. It is very dangerous for you to be here physically. There are many dangers there. If I was to try and take you towards the Earth Kingdoms, for example, we might run across Ko, the Face Stealer.
That
That sounds
Sounds terrible.
I think you're all pretty
Also-
attached to your faces.
Yes.
I'm
Yeah,
not
like-
very attached to Marco's though.
like
Masters
Oh,
haven't really gone good lately.
how does it steal a face though? Like
Oh, it is vicious. It uses these massive pincers to peel the face off if you show it any emotion.
oh
Okay.
okay.
Just like
Let's
my
avoid
stepmom.
Jesus.
Anyway, I'm keen to get out of here and keep my face.
Yeah, let's keep our
do
face.
that.
Quick, all aboard Fang. I will take you to the Sky Bison Spirit.
Yep.
Does Mango climb on top of Fang as well, or is
Mango flies alongside. So probably, you're not on top of Fang. Probably you're riding
I
Mango.
thought she couldn't fly.
She was too
She
scared to
was
fly
scared.
before,
She
but
was
now
scared,
there's
yeah.
a really large dragon and the Avatar.
it's a really large,
Wait,
scary-looking dragon?
Would Roku be able
Sudden
to like
burst of
heal
energy.
her?
So while this has been going on, Fang and Mango have been having like a little sniff, being like checking each other out, having a little like bonding moment, and you can see
Mango babies.
Mango having a little like play with Fang, Roku's dragon. Roku's dragon occasionally joining in. Mango trying to like hit at the long what are they called? What would they be?
Whisker.
Yeah, is it a whisker? Yeah, I guess it's like a whisker.
Yeah.
Yeah, the long whiskers, trying to sort of like bat at them every so often, and Roku's dragon Fang kind of going along with this a little bit. Yeah, Mango seems much calmer now that Roku's dragon and her have had a bit of a chance to bond.
Would Roku
Most of
be
the
able
scarring is mental
to
scarring.
heal?
Do you ask him?
Yes, absolutely.
I'm afraid I no longer have my bending.
Ugh.
I am a spirit.
Oof.
I mean, that makes sense because the bending
Yeah.
power would have gone into like the next.
Yeah.
Yes,
The baby's
somewhere
been
there is
born.
a young air nomad child, a young baby.
Hopefully
No
not
idea
kidnapped,
yet
but
that they're the Avatar. What?
Not yet.
What?
Would you know anything about this?
Well, maybe it's best if you climb on your Sky Bison then. Fang and I can lead you.
Yep.
Can I ride on Fang?
Yeah.
All right, thank
Of course you
Always
can ride
wanted to
on Fang.
ride a real dragon.
Thankfully.
Red Dragon?
Can I hop on the dragon? Yeah,
Yeah.
is that
Anyone
like dibs?
who
Is it
wants to
room?
ride on Fang.
Everyone
It
wants
is,
to
it is
ride
a
on
very
Fang.
big dragon. I'm sure we'll all fit.
It's very long. Yeah.
Yeah,
Mang-
long boy.
Mango won't.
Mango won't.
It's okay, Mango. I'll ride you.
Mango gives you a big lick. Full body lick. It lifts
We
you up
still
off
love
the
you,
ground a little bit
Mango.
and then drops you down.
I'm
All right.
pretty sure I've seen that in Avatar.
As you climb onto Mango's back, Al, and the rest of you climb onto Fang, with this powerful beating of the wings, Fang takes off at a rapid pace. Mango yipping and then following along behind. Up above the tree line, it's clear where the Sky Bison Spirit is. You can see this very dark, concentrated swirl of cloud, almost like an inverse of the storm that you flew into. Much, much smaller and rotating in the opposite direction. And rather than the storm clouds projecting downwards, they're projecting upwards towards almost what looks like a tear in the sky. As Roku gets you closer, he brings Fang right up alongside Mango. Fang right up alongside Mango, and all of you jump across onto Mango's back. "This is as far as I could take you," he calls out, the wind whipping at his clothes and snatching his voice away. "You'll need to fly up through the center. That singing bowl I heard before. Play that, Shurva.
Crap. Okay.
Good luck. Maybe I'll get to see you in my next life."
Thanks, old man.
Avatar Roku,
It was wonderful meeting you.
make sure that spirit stays in the jar. It wants to kill Aquila.
And
Yes.
we go.
Is it good in the spirit wilds? Is it worth it?
He doesn't hear that as you call that out quite silently.
No, I'll never know.
He gives
As
you a
we-
wave. Gives you a bit of a wave.
As we go, I'll bow again.
Yeah, sure. As you bow very low, Mango shoots upwards the wind, pulling her up into the sky. With a flash of light, you find yourselves back in the eye of the storm, the Sky Bison Spirit, hovering lower than it was before. The tendrils of lightning no longer connecting it to the storm clouds around. In fact, the storm seems to be somewhat weakening. As you blast back through, the flash of light that shoots across the sky, disrupting some of that energy around the storm. You can see a group of airbenders on the back of Sky Bison, stuck inside the storm clouds, trying to push their way through, and these bolts of lightning shooting dangerously close to them and their bison. Shurva, could I have you please make a harmony roll?
Sure.
I calmed the spirit.
This
What
is
is one
harmony.
roll?
This is harmony.
4. That is a miss.
No. That was a practice roll before you
That was a
asked me to
warm-up?
roll, so it
Ah.
didn't count.
Okay, because
You hadn't asked me to yet.
Okay. 8. Success with consequences. I can't believe I'm allowing this. Had you actually rolled that before I asked for it?
Yeah, I rolled it when Roku was like, well, time to start using the singing bowl again. And I was like, wait, what is that again? And I pressed harmony. I didn't actually mean to click it.
Okay. I, like the benevolent god that I am, I will allow this.
I wish it had timestamps so you could
It
see
does.
that was
I can see
3 minutes
9:51,
ago.
9:50, so yeah. All right.
Yeah.
There was 1 minute between them.
I mean, there's also a recording. I can go back and check. And if you were lying to me, there'll be consequences, Bree.
I
Yeah,
definitely
sure.
wasn't lying, so that's fine.
No, I trust you. As you begin spinning around the bowl, the music, that pure tone echoing out, the Sky Bison Spirit turns towards you once again. As it growls deep, that low note hitting out once more, the lightning going to strike it seems weaker. Almost this very light static instead. And as Mango wheels around and you continue playing this low chime, the storm around you begins breaking apart. The wind tearing the clouds, no longer sustaining them, but actually destroying them. And as the storm is completely dissipated around you, you see the other air nomads getting their bison back under control, pulling up and forming almost like a little ring around you and the Sky Bison Spirit. Its eyes, no longer crackling with this lightning energy, are now this very deep, dark brown. Cocks its head a little bit as it looks towards Mango and you on the back. Then it leans forward, as if trying to get a bit of a closer look at the tiny figures on Mango's back. What I want to know is, what do you guys do?
We go closer.
Can I try and? Yeah, I want to calm.
I
Try and do some
wave.
spirit calming? Yep.
Yep, we fly towards them.
Yep, absolutely.
I wave
Um,
and smile.
I close my
Yeah,
eyes
same.
Close your eyes.
As
Yep,
friendly as
just keep
possible.
playing.
and just keep playing.
Smile and wave, boys. Smile and wave.
Smile and play.
Mako,
Oh shit.
as you see the bison pulling a little bit closer and cocking its head, you can see these little occasional sparks of static across its body. These little blasts of wind. Mako, you feel a bit of a a bit of an urge to
Make a wish.
touch it. Just to place your hand upon its soft fur.
This is the fish all over again.
Shurva, you do as well.
God.
Yes.
But my
Join
hands
me.
are full.
Yeah. The tone will continue for a few seconds after you release. It'll keep playing for a few moments after you release the.
We're still not that close, are we?
Yeah, you guys are right up next to it. It's only about a meter away from you. It's a massive face, leaning down, sort of looking at Mango as Mango looks up, terrified but still under control from Al.
While waving, I walk forward and I just end up with my hand on it.
Amazing. Shurva?
Yeah, I also reach out.
How soft
touch
is it though? That's the most important question.
It's so soft. It's like touching. It's how you imagine a cloud should feel when you touch it. Not cold and wet, but soft and pillowy. And as you touch it, both of you feel this kind of like spark trace along your bodies and through your fingers. This moment of static that causes your muscles to clench ever so slightly. And as you pull your hands back, Mako, for a moment you see the sparks carry across your fingers, as if you can almost move it yourself. Shurva, for you, there's this moment where you almost feel like a gust of wind tussle your hair where there is none.
Airbender.
And with that, as you release the tone, the spirit begins fading. First slightly translucent, and then completely transparent as it slowly fades away into nothing.
And does this like small storm around us start to dissipate as well?
Storm's all dissipated by this point as the wind starts tearing the storm apart. As soon as you got close enough and started playing the tone, the storm began tearing itself apart and dissipating until you could see the airbenders around you forming a bit of a protective circle, and the storm was completely gone by that point. And that, I think, is a really good place to end for tonight.
I hate it when you end things like that.
Mwah.
You can hear when he says that and that. Like,
And on that note,
And on that
go
note,
fuck yourself.
and on that bombshell,
And on that bombshell, it's time to end. Good night, everybody. What's that from?
Top Gear.
It is. And on that bombshell, and on that racist bombshell, I'm Jeremy Clarkson. Hey, if you continually say racist things, fail to apologize, and stick by it, you're going to get called a racist. I'm not
I
saying.
think he fails to
That's just kind of how it
apologize. I think it's an
happens.
active
Looks like
choice by him.
it sounds like a racist. Yeah.
Yeah. If you
He probably
quack,
tastes like a racist if we
if you
eat
quack
him.
like a duck, you're probably a duck deer, a very
It's like
sexy
a
duck deer.
racist.
Alright, everybody.
Very suggestive duck deer.
We are wrapping up for tonight. Thank you so much for joining us. We really appreciate having you here. Thank you, everybody who joined us live. We will be back again next Tuesday for more Avatar Legends. You'll have to find out the effects of the appeasing of the Sky Spirit next time, as we go through what that might have been. Yeah, Spirit in the Sky. Maybe that's the name of the episode. I was thinking Eye of the Storm because that kind of sounds a bit epic as well, but maybe Spirit in the Sky works. I have to
I
make a
love
decision.
Stormbreaker.
Cloudbreaker was the last one. I could call it Stormbreaker, but it feels like... And the problem is I can't use Stormbreaker because that's an Anthony Ryder book.
Yeah,
It's a book.
Yeah.
Yeah. A good book.
Yeah.
But I can't use
it
it.
is a good book.
Not good for SEO. No, you're right.
Stormbreaker, Alex Ryder. Who's the... Anthony Horowitz is the author. There you go. I got there
Yeah.
eventually.
You
Well,
mix
thank
the
you.
two up.
Yeah, what did I say? Anthony Ryder. Isn't
You
that
said
the...
Anthony Ryder. It's
Yeah.
Alex Ryder and Anthony Horowitz.
Ah, I did get them mixed up. That's funny. Yeah. Oh my goodness. Well, look, thank you so much for joining us, everybody. We will see you all again soon. Remember, tomorrow night, brand new series, Return of the Giants. Get excited! We are for episode 1. But until then, stay safe, stay well. See you guys next time. Bye!
Bye.
Bye.
Mwah.